All right, hello everybody. Uh, this is keyofw. I'm going to be running Myst here, and also with me, couching for me or providing extra commentary is Admiral Flapjack.
Hey everybody.
All right, so Myst is well, this is an obscure indie game that came out in 1993. So yeah, this is the first game in the series, and speedrunning this, basically the goal is to get through to the end of the game as fast as possible, and that is defined by when we give Atris the white page. That is the end of the game. So I'm going to show you two different runs. The first is called any percent. That's just a fancy way of saying get to the end of the game however you like. This is probably the one we all know from playing this game a ton, you know, when we were kids and stuff, and we figured out we could skip a lot of the puzzles, and that's what we're going to do with that run. After I finish that run, I'm going to jump to what's called an all pages run, where I go to the ages, collect all the blue and red pages, and then I give Atris the white page at the end of that. So we'll start with the little one. A couple things to know about what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to click a lot of times very, very fast. And then I'm also going to be making good use of the zip nodes in the game. These are included with the Masterpiece Edition. And so I'll be sometimes spinning around in circles because it's setting up nodes for me to skip a lot of other places throughout the run. And because this version, this 25th anniversary version, runs on the ScumVM engine, it allows us to skip cutscenes with a single key. So I'm going to be using that a lot, so we don't have to watch a ton of moving objects or any sort of scenes like that. So it'll go by pretty quick. I think that covers everything. Anything I've missed there, Flapjack?
No, I think you're all set. Just remember to hit your timer when you set off.
Yeah, I have to do this manually. All right, so we're going to start a new game. First things first, zip mode on. Ready? Here's the any percent in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so the timer starts before we link in. So there's an 8-second unskippable cutscene, and then he's going to be off. This is going to end up going really quick. So you can see that basically this is a mad sprint to all of the different the switches around the island. He's going to have to solve the quick puzzle at the end of mechanical, obviously, in order to get to that marker switch. Selenetic, back down to the dock. He's going to grab the white page, into the fireplace, and set up the puzzle as fast as he possibly can. You might have noticed that he is a little fast at this game. He is the former world record holder, so he ought to be.
Done.
There we go.
Yeah, 42. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 42 seconds is not bad.
Alrighty, so that is how fast you can beat the game.
So let's reset. Let's show off all pages. This one is more fun for a lot of reasons because we actually have strategies to go fast in this game with all pages. So all pagers.
All pages, and I'm going to make sure I can hear everything in the game really well because there's a couple audio cues I'm going to use in this. Okay, everything looks good on my end. It says all pages down at the bottom of the screen, so I've done this correctly.
All right, let's go.
All right, same thing. We will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so in all pages, the initial part of the game is actually spent setting up the ages that will come later. The biggest problem that we have to work around in all pages is the channel because of the length that it takes to get in So, set up the marker switches along the way, but we're going to spend a lot of time in the room working the boiler before we run out, do a few more things, and come back. So the reason is because the boiler, as you know, has a maximum setting, and what we want to do is take advantage of it as much as possible. So you can see that he did a little wave over the pilot light. That is a discovered thing. If you wave after the pilot light, it'll crank really fast for about 5 cranks, and you're good. Usually it's like 4. I will move my microphone closer. I can see a few times, so I will move it closer. All right. I can turn myself up a bit. to a point where you can stop for a second. You just turn up my level in Discord just a touch. Okay, people are saying it's fixed. Can you hear me, bud?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. All right.
Sorry, I had to count to 20 there.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so Channelwood. We're into Channelwood now, and basically you have to set up the valves. There is an optimal way of setting up the valves, and it's simply to give us the least amount of interaction possible. So we have to get to the second floor, open the gate to get down the staircase, because we're going to use that in the second visit in order to skip a lot of things. So we have the downstairs valve to switch back into the elevator, back upstairs. I know I'm a little behind all of you. It's a necessary evil of watching the stream remote. So he's got the page. He's probably down to the bottom already, and he is running to the elevator to get out with the red page. So the second visit will be much faster. Also, what you saw while he was actually setting up the boiler in the lower room of Channelwood's entry, that is because the moment he links back to Myst, the tree will begin rising, and we want to spend the perfect amount of time on Myst Island so that the tree rises only the needed number of times. So we will visit Selenetic next. Alright.
Oh man, that could have gone worse.
Yeah. Alright, so you heard the tree go up a handful of times. That was on purpose. We only want it to go up so many times. I think it's 5 times.
Yeah, I think we only heard one so far. We're going to hear the second one when I pull the lever for Selenetic Age the second time.
Okay. So now we have to deal with Maze Runner. Thankfully, we've just got it memorized, so it will be relatively easy.
This is going to be cathartic. That's what it's going to be.
It's so nice. Those people who have chosen to run this game on console wish that they could do what he's doing. Because we can just skip it all. Alright, back to Myst Island, turning in the page, and then running back to Selenetic for a second time.
Oh dear.
Here we go. So now we are simply doing it all over again. You can see that the state of some of the puzzles persists as we proceed through these ages, which is thankfully a good thing. Believe it or not, which puzzles persist and how is actually dependent upon the version of the game you're playing, because it's different for certain versions. And I'll try and remember to talk about that later, but back into Maze Runner. Alright, back into
Okay, that's done.
Again.
Yeah, the Maze Runner is the most likely place where you're going to accidentally press the escape key before the cutscene starts, and then you'll end up looking at the menu, which is slow.
It's really jank. It's harder than it looks to get that completely correct.
We've also heard the third time the tree's gone up. I cut off the sound effect partway through, but that's 3.
Alright, so stone ship. So we have to use the generator. You'll be surprised with how little he actually runs the crank for, because we don't actually need to run it that long, because we're not going to be here that long. Alright, so steer us first. Or red page first, I should say. And so this is one of those instances where in this version of the game, the PC version of the game, the state of stone ship does not persist. So on our second visit, we're going to have to run the generator again. But in certain versions of this game, the generator will stay on, and you actually don't have to do the second visit is much shorter.
All right, for this route, to be on the safe side, I will go to Channelwood next. There's a bunch of time built in here, so...
Okay.
4. There's certainly a way to do this faster, but for safety, I'm doing it now.
So yeah, you can run it at 20 cranks. You can run it at 21, but you have to be really, really fast with your overworld movement on Myst Island, or it will go up. The tree will go up one too far.
Okay, I can rest easy. I've done all the hard parts now.
This is where resets happen. Is the second visit of Channelwood is right there. So, all right. So, Channelwood second visit. We're just basically we've already set the valves. So we don't have to monkey with them. We just have to turn the first one, and then the first one by the water house, and then up, get the page, down, and out. You can see judicious use of the zips. That's how we go fast. All right. Second stone ship visit. And then onto the least involved age, mechanical.
I like saving mechanical for last just because it goes so quickly.
Yeah.
And there's less chance of catastrophic failure in that one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Except the one thing.
So he has to again. So he's setting the generator a second time. It's just a short run of the crank, and then over to the blue page, turning the main power on, and then out. All right.
One more to go.
Yeah.
One more age. 2 more pages if you're
Two
being
more
technical.
pages, but mechanical is really fast. Mechanical is 2 20-second visits.
Yep. Yeah. Got to be thankful in this case that they didn't decide that this puzzle has to be solved every time because it's the same password no matter what.
Yeah. That is good stuff. So while we do mechanical, the interesting thing to note is that the two first the Myst itself is largely unbroken. Any differences in this version as relates to its old one is really just a byproduct of it being a scum VM application now. But it is largely unbroken. There are no glitches, and there is nothing to abuse. There are no sequence breaks that we can take advantage of other than the intended ones. Riven, we found like one thing.
Yeah.
Exile, a couple of things that aren't really glitches or breaks, and neither was Riven for that matter. But as we get into the plasma era of the games, things start to change. And then when we get to the Unity era, things really change.
Yeah, this compared to the realMyst run are not even close.
Yeah, which you'll get to see coming up right after this. We chose to run the games kind of in their chronological order sans realMyst because it will be fun to show realMyst on the back of this. So same thing as before. Into the fireplace.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking at the timer.
I'm looking at the timer as well. Holy crap.
Sub 11.
Done.
11,
PB. That's a world record.
All right.
Oh
World
man.
record at Mysterium. I can't wait to see this as the VOD on SRC.
Oh my gosh. By like half a second. And it's only the world record for this version. There is actually another version of ScumVM which has slightly different ways it works. One of which is that the cutscene skip button and the menu button are different. So you can just hold the cutscene skip button down. Makes things a lot faster. That is currently held by Sundex, another runner of this game, who is also a really good runner. He was instrumental to the route that we use today. So, yeah.
right.
I'd like to do a couple shout outs here. Obviously to Flapjack here in the couch for me, so give them all a hand.
My pleasure.
Also, the rest of the Myst speedrun community, especially those running this game. Nauseum, the person who basically invented the route before I started. We also have Exodust, another runner of this game that he and I fought for world record quite a lot. And then Sundex, who came in later and basically was the one that came up with all of our strategies with the big tree. So all of those people are great. You should check everybody out. We're all on Twitch. So yeah, please do that. And then I will hand this off to the next game.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll be back with the next game shortly.
Hello, welcome to realMyst Masterpiece Edition. I'm just taking a look at the beautiful landscape on top of tower over here. We should get started. Starting a new game. The first category that I will be running is all pages, no sages. It's very similar to all pages. I will explain the no sages bit. I will also do any percent after this because it's easier to explain, and also all pages is fresh in your mind, so it makes sense to start with this. So. Time will start on first movement, not entering the book. For some weird reason. It was something that was decided in like 2015 and we just sort of stuck with it. So, all right, we're going to start out in free roam, which is our WASD. I'm going to hit caps lock because that's auto sprint. Time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So, the first place that we're going to go is mechanical. Now, you might be thinking, well, you got to go to the clock tower, right? Well, if you step here, left, right, and then stick your head through the corner there, you can go to mechanical. You may be asking, well, that's weird. Why can you do that? It's actually, I think it's the Book of Atris where they mentioned the fact that the stranger can do phase walking through metal objects. So I think it was a nice touch that they added that. Since mechanical is pretty... just finishing as fast as possible. I'm going to explain classic versus free roam and why the difference between them is important. Classic is what you're seeing right here, point and click. It's a lot faster for straightaways and various other parts where movement isn't as important. Whereas free roam, which is WASD, is a lot more efficient for going around tight corners and so on and so forth. But really, it's not about the movement styles that is so important. It really is much more important the fact that we can switch between them on a dime. And you will see that shortly once we get into Channelwood here. So, okay, I clipped into the gear. That's a little weird, but the rest of the game is going to be pretty straightforward. No real deviations here. So, like, for example, when I'm solving Myst Island here, you may be noticing I'm not flipping the marker switches. We'll get to that there. But really, all I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be unlocking the rest of this stuff. I don't need the clock tower because, you know, going through metal. A lot of the optimization here is that I'm waiting for the tree to go up and then go back down. So I'm going to be doing as much as possible to wait. So, like, you know, I'm solving the Selenitic spaceship puzzle and one half of the stone ship. And then when I send it back down, by the way, the timing here is tight. So if I miss this, I would not be surprised. Oh, I think I'm going to be fine here. But yeah, I picked free roam for this section because the corners are a bit tighter. All right, and we make it into the tree on perfect there. We're going to be sending the tree back up after I start going into Channelwood here. As it turns out, you can actually do things after you're starting to go into the age, which will be relevant later. I'll be talking about that in regards to sage glitches and some other stuff. So now we're in Channelwood. Channelwood by far is the biggest, and there's a lot of straightaways, so I want to switch to Classic to use Classic as much as possible. The water routing was very relevant in the Myst run. And I do have to do at least one valve flip, which is truly remarkable. But after that, we're going to be skipping all of the elevators and stuff. And really, it is rather simple. So all you need to do is, you know, we're going to turn on the water for later. If you switch to free roam, you can climb the side of the water mill, obviously. And then if you hide behind this rock and switch to classic, we're next to Akinar's hut. Before I explain it, I'm going to note here something called a node displacement. If I hit F7 here, I can actually just walk off the edge through the invisible wall. I will explain that later. So, what did I just do to hide behind that rock? What is the deal with that? So, when you switch from free roam to classic, the algorithm that is used is there's a raycast that goes from your head to every loaded position in the room. In this case, the room is the entirety of Channelwood, and it's all loaded. And then what it does is it determines whether the raycast crosses any collision. If it does, it removes that point from consideration, and then it picks the closest one. So it goes through all of the points. It picks the closest one that isn't burdened by any collision. However, if you hide behind a really large rock, all the raycasts will hit the really large rock, except for anything that is in the air that is in a very, very convenient spot. So as it turns out, if you hide behind that island in that particular way, it just teleports you up to the 3rd floor, no biggie. We end up using this transition from free roam to classic in this really abusive way many times through the run. It's called a C jump because you jump in classic. But this is the most significant one, we'll say, in Channelwood. It is also sort of difficult to climb up the edge there, but I've a lot of practice, so I nailed it. Heck yeah. So we finished 2 pages here. I'm waiting for the tree to go up. Fun fact, for whatever reason in realMyst Masterpiece Edition, the tree velocity isn't whatever you set it to, so you actually have to set it down and then back up to get the full speed. Ooh, the speed police are going to arrest me. All right, I hopefully got this cycle for the tree clip here. So if you go up with the tree, you slowly sort of slide into it. There's a bit of collision above my... Oop, oh, I went too far. I unloaded the room above me. So we'll have to send the tree back down. No big glitch there. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do this as the game developers intended. So the deal with tree clip is that you slowly sink into the tree, and if you can time it correctly, you can back up and go into the room. Unfortunately, I went through the back of the tree, which unloaded the rest of the underside of the room, which is fine. It gives me more time to explain what the heck tree clip is, so it's nifty all the same. I pick free roam here just so that I can leave the tree one step earlier, because classic you can only leave the tree in the bottom room once the tree has gone all the way down. So, second part of Channelwood. I unlocked these stairs by doing that node displacement thing, which I promise I'll get to. I just don't have the time for it. But I unlocked the stairs by doing a C jump into the stairs here. So we're actually going to use the stairs for this next bit. It turns out if you switch to free roam and you go up it at an up left angle, you just zoom up it way faster than using classic would. It also helps because we need to be in free roam. If you jam yourself into this corner and switch to classic, the closest position is on the 3rd floor, easy enough. And so there's no need to use any elevators or anything of that sort, so we don't have to do any water routing. We switched to free roam because this is a close corner, and also there's a thing that we have to do here where this door jam is a little wacky on the collision. There we go, fantastic. And we can fall down instead of having to use elevators to go back down. Now you may be noticing that I'm going at a diagonal angle. That's because the movement system that is implemented in this game is not normalized. That means that the vectors are added directly. So if you go all the way forward and all the way to the right, it adds them together with vector math that makes it at square root of 2 of the velocity, or 1.4 times faster than standard speed. So I'm going to be doing a lot of strafing anytime that I'm in free roam. But it still tends to be slower than classic even in those instances for straightaways. Right, so I'm done with channel wood. Awesome. Now I've got to make my way over to mechanical. So first I'm going to put this page in the book, and then we're going to go over here. Again, tight corners, doing all the strafing things, phase walking through metal, no biggie. So let me explain what sages are while I have the time. You may notice that I can do a fair bit of things in the fade out entering any sort of age. I can switch my movement mode so that when I enter I have the right movement mode for what I'm looking for, etc. It turns out you can also load saves in that transition, which happens to do some wonky things with the process that transitions to an age and also loads a save. So it combines them into what I call a sage because I'm not creative. Save plus age. It loads all of the properties of the save except for the age that you're going into. So if I were going into mechanical and I load a Myst save, it'll plot me like in the middle of the ocean because the positions don't normally line up. The reason that they're banned is that while they are pretty cool to use, wrong way. While they are pretty cool to use, you can actually abuse them in such a way where you can set up a save such that you don't have to leave anything. So it's just a race to get to each of the 8 pages, and then you just load a save and it works. So that's in its own separate category, which we're not exploring here. So, Stone Ship. There's a lot of things to do here. We got to pump some water in order to access this generator. Just kidding. The stranger doesn't care about your ceilings, and the stranger does not care about collision. You can just pop through that generator, no biggie. Well, okay, so what? I've activated power, who cares? At the very least, I have to, you know, pump out the rooms between Sirius and Achenar, right? No, actually, I'm going to make a save. Thanks, Flapjack, in case I mess this up. Oh, I didn't need to. So what did I just do there? So that was another node displacement. Flapjack calls it scuba diving in this particular instance because you go underwater. So what is a node displacement? If you ever get stuck in Classic, there's actually a hotkey, F7, that resets your node. And you do need to do this on occasion in casual playthroughs, although it doesn't happen a lot. However, the positions that are used that you are reset to are just slightly off. For example, if I hit F7 while standing next to this table, I just pop up on top of it, which is a little bit weird. You can dance on that table if you want, if you switch to free roam. Fun fact. But yeah, it like slightly offsets you. So sometimes you will be able to clip through an invisible wall in Classic by using that node displacement. And then if you switch to free roam, you can just sort of strafe off the edge and you're flying off like nothing matters. There's going to be another node displacement that happens here because I need to get into Achenar's room here pretty briefly. Here, we'll demonstrate it here. So if I face away here, if you hit F7, you actually slightly jerk backwards, and so you can actually strafe back into here, switch into Classic, because this is a straightaway where using Classic is faster. And yeah, you can just get underwater without having to ever pump it. Most of the time save that comes from doing it in this particular instance comes from not having to pump out certain sections over and over. But in sections like Channelwood, like you saw, it's much more about the routing and being able to go from point to point a lot more quickly. I'll just dance on this table again because, you know, it's fun. See, watch this. Whee. All right. So we're on our way to Selenitic, which is the greatest nightmare, in my opinion, because we're facing up against Maze Runner. Don't look at the time or the estimate. I do definitely have to do Maze Runner at some point. Oh, where am I? So normally I don't enter here in realMyst, but in free roam, but it's fine, whatever. All right, I'm gonna be quiet here. I think I got it. Hey, I got it first try. That's awesome. So, Maze Runner skip. What is the deal with this in realMyst Masterpiece Edition? So normally the Maze Runner takes 4 minutes because you can't skip cutscenes. There are no cutscenes that you can skip in realMyst Masterpiece Edition, which is why I have to do all of these weird janky things. But there are ways to skip Maze Runner. And so I'm going to take a couple deep breaths because I'm going to try to explain this all in one go and then re-highlight the points when I have to do it again, because I'm going to do Maze Runner skip twice. So you may notice, for example, I'm not going over to the sound puzzle. That's because the sound puzzle is irrelevant. Because first you do a node displacement on the edge of this bridge here so that we can walk off backwards. Then we walk through the water here. You can use this crystal as a lineup to go into the hallway below, skipping the music puzzle. Opening this door, there's a hole in the collision. Then we make a bunch of saves, which induce a bunch of lag in order to fall faster, because we need to fall as fast as possible in order to load the maze below. Then if you unload every area below, above you and C-jump, it C-jumps you to the end of the Maze Runner. And so you don't actually have to enter the Maze Runner. The Maze Runner is, you know, irrelevant. So what happened there? So as I mentioned before in Channelwood, when you're switching from free roam to classic, it picks the closest available loaded position, right? If I unload everything in Selenitic except for the maze, then the only points that are loaded, you know, because the Maze Runner doesn't count as a node, are at the end of the maze. So my goal is unload everything that's above me as fast as possible while having the maze loaded, and then switch to classic and you're done. So how do I unload everything above me as fast as possible? You have to get close to the maze and then walk just outside the radius so that everything unloads, right? So you'll see when I do this again, I do a node displacement, so I'm clipped into the invisible wall, and I fall to skip the sound puzzle again. When I finally do unload everything above me here, oh, there we go. And I make saves, by the way, because they induce lag so that I fall faster. Hopefully that's clearer again. I walk slightly backwards, and it unloads everything above me, and then I'm done. That's everything that I have to do in order to skip to the end. So now you might be asking, okay, you got all the pages, whatever, fine, stupid glitches. What are you going to do about the white page? You didn't flip any of the marker switches, and you need to flip all of them and then flip the one at the beginning. Shoutouts to Twitch, Eagleheart, and Reverman, who in combination found out about this. The library page for red and blue have this special property where if you put them into the book, they don't unload, and you can actually swap pages through collision. So this is the only place where this sort of glitch is available. Basically, I put the red page into the book, but it still thought I was holding a page. And then you can swap pages through collision, so you don't have to worry about anything to do with the lever at all. And you're done. You may notice I'm much worse at the fireplace than keyofw is. It's partially my fault, but it's also partially due to the fact that the fireplace requires you to click on and off in order to get the correct button press. So time ends now. 14:44. I've done the right thing. All right. Unfortunately, I can't skip this cutscene. I do enjoy this cutscene, but we have to get to any percent. So Alt F4. Which is a little rude to do to a Myst game, Alt F4, but it's the only option I have. Myst V is worse. You have to actually pull up the task manager and force crash it because you can't even Alt F4 Myst V, which I'll be doing later in case you want to see me again. So while I reopen Myst Masterpiece, ignore the part where it says all pages, no sages. I'm doing any percent now. So any percent, again, grab the white page as fast as possible. Again, shoutouts to Twitch, Eagleheart, and Reverman, who revolutionized the idea of having to flip marker switches, especially Twitch Eagleheart, who was a beta tester for this game, and he said, hey, look at this glitch, and they were like, it's fine, whatever. So he told me about it, and then I've used it since. It's wonderful. I love it. All right. So for any percent, which is totally any percent, ignore the thing that says all pages, no sages. 3, 2, 1, go. So this is a mad dash for, Akinar or Cirrus's page. Because of the strafe that I've chosen, I'm going to pick Akinar's page as quickly as possible. I'm going to try to do better for the fireplace for y'all, because the one that I did for the all pages run was abysmal. Let me see if I can focus a little bit harder on that. Although, again, I mentioned that the fireplace is definitely the most wonky in this version. And perfect. All right, and now I'm going to make a sage glitch here. So I'm going to make this save, and then if I load this save, it actually puts me in a position that's closer to Atris, so you can actually just sort of pop over here and time. Wow, 43, that's a really good time. That might be world record. I don't know. I'd have to figure out what the load removed time for that would be, but wow, that's awesome. So that's any percent in all pages, no sages in realMyst Masterpiece Edition. Definitely a departure from the original games in terms of glitch philosophy, but in general, it's the same sort of deal. I guess I'm done for the time being. We're going to be moving on to Riven, I think. So feel free to cut me. In the meantime, I'm going to discuss the Myst canon. So cut me at any time, like right about now. In particular, I'm going to be discussing the fact that...
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Zaustus. This is Riven, the sequel to Myst, a favorite amongst many people in the community. And so this is the best ending category. However, as a little bonus, I'm also going to unlock the opera scene and show that to you before finishing the game. So, do you have anything else to say before we get started, Flapjack? Couching for me is Flapjack. You've heard him a little while ago.
Heard once before.
Yes.
Nothing to add. Well, I guess we'll cover the rest while we're in flight.
The once and future Flapjack. So, All right. So time's going to start when I click New Game. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. So I'm going to start by clicking here. Look up, click the star, right key triangles, forward, down, click chose dagger, helmet, belt pouch, hand, boot, other hand, chest button, and now we are off.
All right, so you're all familiar with the gate room on Temple Island. We're setting up the end game, so we're opening grates to permit access through the gate room from all angles, and we're setting up steam so that all the bridges and elevators around the island are operable when we come back here again. So this is literally setting up the end game at the very beginning.
So talk about galloping, Flapjack.
Okay, so you can see the movement's very different here to Myst, and the reason is because Riven accepts keyboard inputs as well. And to go really, really fast, not only do we use the keyboard, we use the mouse with it as well.
Okay,
so we're literally doubling up on inputs, which we call
hey,
galloping.
That worked.
Hey,
Christmas light.
So that is how he's able to go very, very fast, is he's using the keyboard and the mouse together to gallop, as we call it. So setting up Wart Gallows.
Which is an audio cue.
Yep. And then we have to run back down, go to the village, and lower our submarine, which you all know about.
So clicking on Cho was a way to unlock the Easter eggs that I discovered. Well, other people had known about it, but it was... I found it on a website.
On an old forum, didn't you?
Well, on an old website, archived website, sometime last year. And I had known about the spider eggs, you know, the spider method.
Yeah.
But it was a setting to discover a new method.
We just have to extend the one bridge. We don't need to extend them all. And then we run over to the Wart Gallows. Or breaking into Tay. We need to get our stuff back, so we need our trap book.
Cho is another way to unlock those Easter eggs.
Yep. Yeah, the Cho is just the method of activating the opera that doesn't involve running all over Riven, so it is the faster way of doing it. Did we get Richard? No, Richard!
No.
If you didn't know, there's a random chance that you will see a cutscene involving Richard Vanderwen. Alright, so now we're on to Boiler Island, and we gotta pass through the boiler in order to get to Gen's lab. So we go in through the vents,
that's not
as
good.
we do. Alright.
Okay, so we have 11, 12, 19, 22, 23.
Alright. That's actually not a bad code. It's a halfway decent code.
Yeah.
Alright, solve the fire marble puzzle. As you all know, it doesn't change.
Oops.
I did write it down for safety.
11, 12, 19, 22, 23. Oops.
As we discovered, we did do a bit of code diving, and it is actually possible to set the code to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through RNG manipulation. Okay, scope skip. I have time to explain this. You're going to see it, and I'll explain what happens. So, you know that the scopes play the animation from start to finish, and that the last frame is the one where it turns gold, and
what?
You actually...
Did I mess up? Oh, that's...
we gotta go back.
Wow,
Bummer.
How did I do that?
I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
We're gonna have to check our fire marble solution.
What did I do wrong? Maybe I just didn't press the button?
Did you not press it?
I didn't press the button.
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled program. So,
that's never happened before.
So the scope skip is the last frame is the one that you want to click on, but there is a grace window to the animation, a 3-frame grace window. So if you can actually mash the button fast enough, you will skip the animation because you're inside the grace window.
Which brings me to the point of all of this.
And I discovered that quite by accident.
Book you brought with you.
He did.
Very fortunate to have
Well, sheesh. So I am playing on a different version of ScumVM than the one that's shipped normally, because I have one that removes all the crashes from marathon settings, because there are a lot of crashes in the normal version. But that does introduce a little lag. It's not as well optimized, so that's probably why that didn't go. So, oops.
It is very easy to make, you know, one-click mistakes in this game, so...
Yeah, so sadly you know, it is what it is. But
This one won't world record, but that's okay because this isn't actually a leaderboard category.
yeah, it's not a real category anyway, so... Don't worry, it's not the first mistake, or not the last mistake I'll make today.
Yeah, you've got just beyond Myst after this, so, you know, you want to talk about mistakes that you're about to make.
I'm not playing that one. So I'm setting up, I actually use the Windows locate mouse to get my mouse cursor in the right spot to just spam click where the book is going to open. It's actually on Gen's chest. This is where the hotspot appears. And now we wait for another, I think it's 12 seconds of black screen. A lot of waiting.
Yep.
Okay, here's the opera. Wonderful.
The high note.
Beautiful.
Okay. 22311. Alright, 23, 22, 19, 12, 11.
Right on.
Huzzah.
Alright, and then it's just a mad dash for the exit. We freed Catherine, we trapped again, and now it's just rendezvous time with Atris.
So we have to flip through the book to find the code. 21325, so 21325. Release the stop. Alright, well, there you go.
Not bad. 750 is not bad
For making
missing.
a huge mistake there. Yeah, not catching the, well, that's loud. Not turning on the power. So that's it. That's Riven with Opera.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adam Savage for making a cool Riven.
He did make a cool Riven dagger. So, yeah. Well, thanks. That was a fast one. I'll be back again later for Uru. But next up is Myst III Exile, run by Exodust.
I mean, what? All right, everyone. Welcome to my contribution to this madness. This is Myst III Exile, best ending. So we will be giving Brad Dourif the benefit of the doubt at the end of the game. A few quick notes. I will let my compatriots explain a bit of the tech as we go. But if you are photosensitive, and you had trouble watching Riven's run, I urge you to reconsider watching all of this one.
Yeah, this one's rough.
This is.
That being said, we're gonna use some camera manip, cutscene skipping, and straight up memorization of all the puzzles. Time starts when I click new game. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
All right. First thing, don't click on Riven.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So the tech, like what Riven had with the galloping, that is still in this version. In addition to, as you just saw a couple times, going into the menu, because some cutscenes can only be skipped by moving to the menu. So you have to remember when you can skip just by pressing the button, and when you have to actually go to the menu to skip.
In particular, when he says it has the Riven tech, there's a key called auto walk, where if you press it, it brings you to the next transition. However, if you hold it, it's sort of similar to holding a key in like a Word document where it repeats it after a while. That's the same sort of effect with auto walk, where you just hold it in order to press as quickly or, on repeat as fast as possible. And so it's about using that sort of control to where you're going as fast as possible with the auto walk key and then controlling the rest with your mouse.
Yeah. And so what we've been doing so far is setting up as much as possible the puzzles to get into the 3 ages while we're outside. So setting up the stuff for Idana, for the Squee, and a bit of Voltaic as well. The route now, I believe, is pretty much set to Idana first, then Voltaic, then Materia.
Runs die on Idana, so we get out of the way first.
Yeah. In addition to the fact that the one randomized puzzle in Voltaic you want to do as early as possible, and you kind of have to do Idana first because of all the setup that goes into it. So that ends up being the way to go. So you don't have a run die because you have a bad puzzle near the very end.
All right. Saving the animals. If you're all familiar with speedrunning lingo, we'll be saving the animals.
Yes.
Most of Idana is pretty cut and dry. I mean, as cut and dry as Idana can get. It is very much confusing in that you have to know where you're going, which is hard to do even from a casual perspective, much less speedrunning. So it literally tends up being waving your mouse wildly from A to B. It is
exactly what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, it is exact. He sees what you're seeing. Yeah, there's no like.
Yeah, there's a lot of muscle memory.
Yeah, going as fast as possible until you see a card that you recognize, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to turn right here. I'm going to turn left here, or whatever."
All right.
So it's truly terrifying.
Yep. So we made it to the top of the tree, and now we're going back down.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of Idana, like this is where runs die, not because you necessarily mess up a puzzle and it's over, as much as the amount of optimization you have to do to get all of these node to nodes quickly is insane. Yeah, because most of the time you're kind of wiggling your mouse around and clicking and hoping that something happens.
And sometimes something doesn't happen. Thankfully, the latter half has a lot of zips in it that you can use instead of having to frenetically try to do things. So, there's a sweet zip there. That's right, you were talking about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Donna's over.
Yeah, it's interesting how we've discovered zips as we've gone. Like, it wasn't like we had all the zips ready to go early on. Like, it seems like there's new ones we think about pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this you have to wait for.
Yep.
Yep.
Fun fact, it's 4 rotations and you can go either direction. Doesn't matter.
Yep. So this is all for unlocking Voltaic, which is another one of these puzzles where even though you know the solution, you have to have the light that shines on it to tell you what the solution is, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And what's nice about these, though, is you don't really have to be right on the lines with that. You can be pretty close and you'll get it.
So here's the sweet auto walk technology.
Yeah.
Also, he flipped those valves a couple of seconds back. If you flip those ahead of time, it means you don't have to endure an animation of you turning the wheel at a later date. Also, we're about to get drowned out if we're not being drowned out already.
It's already happening.
Sorry, it's loud in here.
Yeah. Gelly already had to endure this once on the couch at HEQ. Thankfully, he can't hear it this time.
Yeah. Oh no, I just turned the volume down. It's like, I ain't listening to that.
Nice balance. Oh wow, we did it good. Oh man.
Oh wow. Oh, I missed out then, huh?
You didn't get the experience. Oh, welcome to Tesla. We have to talk about Tesla.
Oh,
It's the
God.
best puzzle ever.
Random puzzle.
And it's truly the worst because you can be out by 15 clicks at most. I don't wait.
Yeah,
I forget.
10. There's 20 nodes all around, so 10 is the furthest out you can be.
Yeah, so you can be like 3 to 30 clicks to finish this puzzle. So you could be having the run of your life, and then you get a really bad position.
Average.
Yeah.
So this one was pretty average. Okay.
Yeah.
Average is good.
The solution's the same every time. It's just the starting position. And so what we had to do, at least at first, was we just drew every single position and then just worked out how far away the correct ones were.
Yeah, that is the worst. That is the worst. If Adana doesn't end your run, Voltaic will.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Amateria is actually the sweetest.
Amateria is
both.
fun. It's just straight up fun.
Yeah.
Except you don't get to see a lot of the fun bits.
That's the worst part. We skipped the most fun part.
Yeah, you have to watch. You have to watch all the physics puzzles happen, but when it's the best part of it, you don't get to watch it.
Oh, it's really sad. Actually, it's so unfortunate.
But gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So
Pretty good.
a lot of this is pretty much once you're done with Tesla, it's just A to B to C to D. Not a lot of having to flip levers or whatever. It's just getting to the end.
So another thing you do, like you notice coming up on this right here, of turning around and closing the door behind him and then opening the other one. Part of the tech on this is if you click on something that involves a cutscene you can't skip, you will have to watch helplessly as your character slowly turns to the side to like casually notice what's happening. So the idea is to start cutscenes in ways that you're already facing as close as possible to the direction you want to go. So when you start it, you can just immediately skip. So that's what's involved in some of the weird positioning of looking around, is avoiding the slow turn.
Yeah.
In Amateria especially, there's quite a few instances where you wait to skip a cutscene until you're looking in the right direction.
Yeah, you're going to see that happen 5 or 6 times.
Yep. Pan manipulation in this game isn't actually too bad. You only rely on it a couple of times. If you're the type of person who likes having to skip looking around as much as possible, Revelation has way more pan manipulation.
Revelation has you covered.
Yeah, that's why it's great to do these runs in order, because every tech thing you learn from one run is like, well, the next run's going to do that plus, and then we just add
It's got a
something
twist to it. Yeah.
And then we got to watch
Myst V. Myst V breaks everything.
Myst V breaks every rule.
Yeah.
Look forward to that. Myst V easily has the crown of the most broken run.
Ooh, but we just had realMyst Masterpiece Edition. Come on.
That's true. That was pretty broken too.
I'd call Myst V more broken, personally. It's just, my vote goes to Myst V for most broken run.
So what, now we're setting up the sound puzzle. I don't know if there's a right term for what this is, but this setting up all the sound waves for this puzzle here is basically like just getting it in order, and finding the route through all of that quickest without getting lost takes a bit of a, but you can actually zip to the center node pretty easily. So basically setting it up so that you go out to one node and then zip back and then go out to the other in the right order, so it goes very quickly. Just make sure you don't go down the wrong one or you end up getting pretty lost.
Yeah. All right, so we leave.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah.
This is the only physics puzzle we can skip watching.
It's a physics puzzle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For reasons that are not explained, this one you can just skip.
Yep.
Yeah. That was it. Oh, you're probably a little bit behind me, and it's over.
We're far behind. Yeah, he's working on the combos.
There you go.
We know the combos, but we have to again play all the 3 physics puzzles to see them.
Yep. Same with this one. All right, everyone, get ready for the best part of this.
I think we've
game.
already skipped it at this point. We've already skipped it.
Here
The
it
best
comes
part
and
of the
there
drawing.
it goes.
Yeah, the ride was very fast.
Oh wait, we're missing the best part of this run of all time: the Narayan poems.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah.
Who doesn't love the Narayan poems? Should we talk about them? I don't want to because I hate them.
I'll bring it up. So the Narayan poems, it's basically a test of how steady you can hold your hand. Really, what it is. So you got to click on, of course, all of the different spots in the poem, and if you are like 1 pixel off, then the game is like, oh, you actually wanted to click a very, very different spot. And so it's just a matter of timing, and it adds up quick if you miss even slightly. And then trying to optimize what order you're going to click them all in to get through it quickly is another challenge, and sort of doing it around the circle in order. There's a couple different ways you can do it. What you're watching here is basically what we've come up with at this point.
There's no strategy here.
Yeah.
Is your hand shaking really bad?
Only chaos and misery.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember going through this and actually like working out like what's the fastest way to type this particular thing in. And
yeah, you put in more effort than a lot of us did.
Yeah.
We just wanted to finish it, dude. If you could finish an Orion poem, it meant the world.
Yeah.
No. All right. Last poem.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to break Brad Dourif's heart. Poor guy. We don't even watch any of his cutscenes. He did such a great job.
Oh, did you skip the cutscene that you can't skip?
Well, by definition.
The random. I guess you must have skipped it because
What?
there's like a random chance cutscene that you can't skip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a
Troll.
random chance that he trolls you by walking around and you have to wait for him to finish, but this time he didn't. So you let him go, and then all you got to
And
do is.
Time.
12 dead. Nice.
Oh,
That's
so
pretty
close.
good.
Yeah, 12 dead. That's nice.
Atris, come quick!
Pretty good.
My shout out goes to Jack Wall, who did a phenomenal job on this soundtrack. My hat is off to you, sir. I love music, and I love the music in this game a lot. Also, personal shout out to Cyan Vio. He was the unified world record holder of all the Myst games. He's retired now, but we love you, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it for Myst III Exile. Up next is our European friends with Myst IV Revelation. And we hope that you enjoy that coming up next.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I am Exodust. I am joined by Kev the Dragon on the couch. Please say hello.
Hello.
And I'll be running Myst IV Revelation for you today. This is the good ending category. There is not really a big difference in, things, the ways you can end this game. So,
all the quote-unquote bad endings end in Serenia before you go into dreams, so we don't ever run them because they're really boring in comparison, because there's basically no difference. It just stops 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Right, so I think we're ready.
Right,
So-
then I'll... Yeah?
You'll notice the timer starts at minus 5.2. That's because we start when the intro cutscene starts, not when new game starts, because there is loading times, and this game started before we figured out load removal, so timer
Yeah.
starts now, and
Yes.
timing starts now. And now we have to sit here for a minute while we watch Yisha talk about the gondola ride. So, it was brought up in Exile, the camera panning manipulation. We do exactly the same thing here, but a lot more because there are a lot more cutscenes.
Yeah, and it does also work subtly differently.
Yes. When a cutscene starts, it drags the camera to where it wants you to look at. So, it's up for grabs. If you want to do it, I might accept it as a category, but I don't really want to, so...
Oh boy.
Yeah, so camera panning. Like in Exile, it wants you to look in a specific direction for cutscenes, so if you can look there look as close to it as possible, then you cut out the slow camera panning in favor of fast camera movement. So Exo is going to do it when the gondola stops here. For the cutscene immediately after he takes the photo, and little to the right, I'd say.
It's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Cursor now, it doesn't matter.
We're being nitpicky about the current position of the camera. It literally saves probably
It saves
10
almost no
milliseconds.
time.
Make sure your thumb
10 milliseconds or something.
It saves almost no time. I think I'm the best at the camera manipulation, but I haven't run this game in a very long time.
Yeah.
There is another kind of camera manipulation we do in this run. So when you click on the node transition to get to the next node, if the camera is moving at that time, the camera will keep moving, and it will help you it can help you set up the camera for clicking on the next transition. It was only found relatively recently. I think Gelly figured it out. Correct me
I'm
if
not sure.
I'm wrong about that.
Either
think
I
it was
did or
Gelly.
he did.
Yeah, Gelly found a lot of small optimizations fairly late in the evolution of the route. But oh yeah, the slider chat.
Oh dear.
The slider strats. So coming up, there's the puzzle where you have to set the waveforms to match, and we don't do any of that. We don't even click on it. We just ignore it completely. It's so much fun. Oh, but there's so Exo just did a camera pan across transitions there, and that got him looking where Atris comes into frame.
Yes.
Much faster.
You know my son, Cirrus and Aaron.
And again, it saves not a lot of time for one transition. Like, you see me swooping my camera, but...
There are enough of them across the whole run that it does add up to quite a bit of time. Also, hi everyone in chat, I am reading chat.
If you have any questions, please do drop them.
Yes. Yes, please ask questions. We've got another 37 minutes of sitting here, so make it interesting for us, please.
Here I'm going to position the camera again. Very specific spot that I have memorized. Again, the detail is probably lost, but it's fun to be as precise as possible.
It is so precise, and it really doesn't matter that much, but
you have all the time to set it up.
We've got a nitpick.
Yeah. We got all the time to set it up, so why not?
Oh, Exo found it. Exo found it.
I did. Okay, great. I wasn't
Awesome.
sure.
Thanks for clarifying that, Gelly.
Friend, it's not that difficult.
Boom.
Okay, Dark Shocks. Yeah, and that's the frequency puzzle skip. That's been in the route pretty much since I started the speedrun of this game. Except at the time, I did not know that you could actually just not click on the puzzle at all. I thought you had to click in and then click back out. So it was a bit slow back when it started, and I can't remember who found that you could just look away. I think I might have done it. I
think
can't
you
remember.
did.
This was years ago.
Yeah.
How does that get skipped? So when Atris tells you to look at the panel, if you just look at it and then look away, he will tell you to look at it. And then if you do that again, it just goes straight to blowing up the crystal viewer. The same thing happens if you click on it and then back out and do that twice. It's basically so that if you can't do it, the game just skips you past it because it really wants you to play the game.
Play me! Also, I'm sorry for not showing you Rand, but I was again positioning for a camera manipulation, so... Well, I call it a manipulation, it's just a positioning.
You should be looking the other way, by the way. You need to look at the elevator.
Yeah. All good. Just so you know, Cav is watching this. Just so you are aware at home, Cav is watching this with a 7-second latency, so
yes.
You might hear some off-timed comments.
Yes,
just to clarify.
I'm looking at it slightly ahead of what all of you at home are watching it at, just so that I can see what's coming up in advance. How do you get started in speedrunning? You find a game you want to speedrun and you try and play it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
How you do it. It helps if there's a community as well, because the more people there are speedrunning, the more tricks and strategies get discovered,
wow.
And the faster the game goes.
Okay, that was poor.
Well done, Exo.
Nice.
That was not very good.
Oh, this means she's just upset. Oh no.
Oh!
That's slow.
Yeah, that's really slow.
We don't get to see Gelly too.
This doesn't normally happen in speedruns. Normally we see the lizards. But Exo messed up and we get to see this cutscene instead.
Oh man. So the entire thing about the momentum of the camera continuing after you've clicked to another node, you kind of have to click to the node while you're moving your camera, and since you want the momentum to carry the camera further, you have to move your camera fast, and clicking in the middle of it, you sometimes just totally lose it. And I totally lost it there.
Yeah. There is no official name of the gecko. We're just calling it Gelly 2 because it's funny.
Oh yeah. You bet it is.
So right, we're coming up to the end of daytime Tamana. We're just going to reset the power box.
He does that a lot. Mom
and then hop over into night Tamana. I spent a lot of time on this puzzle trying to optimize it. Way more time than I'm actually going to admit to. It only took 10 minutes. It definitely only took 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But we're pretty sure the strategy we've got for it is the optimal strategy. The 4-second zip save, yes. So we use zip mode not quite as judiciously as in Myst and Riven. There are only a handful of spots that it actually saves time, and getting from the water wheel control room back to outside Catherine's lab is one of those times.
Yeah.
Why does Revelation copy this puzzle from Quern? You would have to ask Ubisoft Montreal that. We do not have the answers. So yeah, zip mode will come up a couple more times. It will come up in It comes up at the end of Spire. Do we still do the one in the middle of Spire? I can't remember.
Kind of focusing right now, so...
I don't think we do that anymore. We do one in Serena as well. And that might actually be it.
Great.
But it does save a lot of time. Knowing what happens to you sure after the good ending, I'll be sure the bad endings aren't the actual good ones. That is an excellent question, Item Crafting Live, and I'm going to defer that to Ubisoft Montreal again. Okay, so that's the power box.
Yes.
Back to the water wheel control room, and onto Knight Tomana. Fun fact about Revelation, only some cutscenes are skippable, and there are actually 2 different ways that you can skip cutscenes. The one you're about to see, you can skip by mashing spacebar as fast as you can. Actually, you only have to hit spacebar once, and it skips the cutscene, but if you mash it, then you can skip it as quickly as possible. The other kind will come up once we get to the linking chamber. For certain animations where you still have camera control, you can actually sometimes move to a different node. And if you do that in the middle of an animation, then it completely skips the animation. And that is how we get into the linking chamber very quickly. That's some tech that I discovered, and I'm pretty sure I didn't find all of the places you can do it. Gelly discovered that you can do it on the harvester levers. But pretty much every cutscene skip has been found at this point. There are very, very few places you can actually cutscene skip, and it's really annoying because the cutscenes are really long.
Yep.
Like, a good 10 minutes of this speedrun is just watching cutscenes. It's really quite absurd. And we've really tried to figure out ways to skip the unskippable cutscenes, but we haven't figured out anything concrete yet.
I'm gonna apologize to you, Cav. I have not really practiced the new movement in the fireplace yet, so I'm not gonna get the... It's one of those stupid optimizations that we've recently done.
Yeah.
Again, it was you who spent all the time on it, right?
I spent a lot of time optimizing as many puzzles as I could. The memory puzzles in Dream were probably the biggest time investment for me, just because they are so long and so prone to errors. Also, Nauseum asks, will Exodust be voice acting Akinar's lines over him? Will you?
Oh boy. Is that a direct request? Because if it is...
Nauseum, are you making a direct request for Exodus to voice act? Also, Zaustus says, I hope he doesn't screw up everything. So do we! Okay, Nauseum says, yes, you're voice acting Exo.
Yeah, guess I am.
It is decreed. Talk about tapping. Yeah, something really annoying this game does is if you click on something in the foreground, the cursor will tap. If you tap, you cannot actually click on a node transition.
Yeah.
So if you tap instead of clicking on a node transition, that's like a second of time you lose.
Yeah, stupid immersion like that. Who needs immersion?
Okay, so Exodus just stepped in front of the dock dock control panel, and he did that in order to set up a zip node for just a few moments.
Oh boy.
Basically, Revelation only activates a zip node once you visit that node the first time.
May I... Oh, I did it! I have to interrupt real quick. I just did... Oh, that's the wrong zip node. That's what you get when you try to explain stuff. So, what just happened? I'm sorry I have to explain this after the fact, but... I just position... Oh, no.
Okay, I'll explain
do
more.
it.
You can. So what Exodus did after turning on the garden control panel is he got what we call rockship skip. Basically, while just after you activate the first panel, the game really wants you to look at the rockship as it floats down, but that's really slow. And it turns out that you can actually travel to another node while you are watching that cutscene. but only if you can get your mouse over the transition. So what we do is, instead of watching the rock ship, we look at the hatch and click as fast as we can in a particular spot, so that when the game steals camera control from you, the cursor sweeps over the transition, and if you're clicking fast enough, you will click on it and go down instead of watching the really long cutscene. And that's Rockship Skip, and it is actually really hard to get.
It's really hard. I missed it in every practice run. I'm really happy I got it.
Also, shout out to Gelly again for finding a more consistent place to put the mouse to get it. It helps a lot.
Oh, thanks, Gelly.
Yeah,
I
Gelly
did not
found
know
that
there
one.
was such a thing. You learn more every day.
Yep. Alright.
Oh my days. I hate the tap.
Yeah, mistakes are very common in marathon runs just because you don't get to retry in a marathon. You'll never see it in a world record speedrun just because if you make a mistake while going for world record, you just reset. It's not worth continuing if you make enough mistakes. The passer with foreign accents. So Exodust is Dutch. I'm English. It's really late at night while we're doing this, so you're welcome. Right, so Exodus has just got the Far Palace control panel. So now he's going to go back to the main palace, turn off the garden control panel. It is the garden, right? Yeah, it's the garden.
Yeah.
And then go to the spider chair and do what everyone tells me is their least favorite puzzle. But I've never found it difficult, so I don't know what anyone's telling me.
I mean, it's a test of really how good you got your stuff together, so...
I also spent a lot of time optimizing the frequency locks puzzle. Trying to find the optimal order to set the sliders in.
Right.
I'm not sure anyone actually does any of my optimizations because they're actually quite difficult, even if you're really good at it like I am.
I mean, are they any different than the ones we've been doing for a long time? I mean...
The most optimal one I found is several seconds faster than the one I started off doing.
Oh dear me. Nice.
Yeah, it is several seconds of time save, but I'm not sure anyone actually does it because it is tricky. Like, the leeway on the old route is... there's a couple seconds of leeway on the last inputs, but the... have I changed the guide to reflect it? I believe the guide has both strats in it. The leeway on the most optimal one is there's almost no leeway. If you mess up, you have to start over. I'm only so boasty about it because I am actually really good at it. I almost never mess it up. Whereas other people tell me they mess it up a lot, so I must be good at it. Oh, Gelly does the new one. Cool, I'm glad someone does it.
Oh well. More reason to get involved and check out the other runs. Gelly currently has the world record, by the way. He's totally knocked it out of the park.
Gelly has the world record because I haven't speedrun this game in a very long time because I've just not been feeling it.
I mean, to be honest, a lot has changed.
Oh, so much has changed since Gelly started speedrunning this game.
The last thing that we found... you want to talk about language?
Oh, yes, so the language. So, most of the cutscenes in this game, the time they take is dependent on the video file that is played. This is not actually the case in Dream. Dream, it's tied to the audio track. So if you can find a really quick audio track, Dream goes by faster. And it turns out that French is the fastest language to play Dream with. So the new tech is to play the game in French. And shout out to Gelly again for putting the time in to find this. Not Japanese, God. It's French. I'm going to trust Gelly on this one because he actually checked all the languages.
Yes.
And it turns out that French is the fastest. It's really weird, but it's a thing. So we have to play Japanese. Yeah, text is usually French or Chinese. Chinese, I think, is more common than Japanese.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the other way around.
I don't know.
It's either Chinese or Japanese for text. Yeah, it never occurred to anyone to actually try playing with language until Gelly was investigating how Dream works, because we really wanted to skip the cutscenes in Dream, because that's like 10 minutes. I don't think it's actually 10 minutes, I think it's more like 5 minutes, but it's really long and we'd really like to skip it. So Gelly did a lot of investigations of cutscenes. Yeah.
And here's a fun skip. We move the bridge, and then we move away because we're timing this game in game time, which means that the loading between transitions, the timer is paused in that time. And
if you watch the timer, you will actually see it stop.
Yes. And if you wait on the bridge to move, the time
if
goes
you wait
on.
on the bridge, then the timer keeps ticking up while you wait for it. But if you step away, the timer stops, and it skips the animation as well. It is actually faster in real time to step away anyway, but it helps so much more with load removal.
Yeah. Okay, so we're entering Serenia now. Are you going to explain for us how the spirits work?
Oh yes, so the spirits. So there are 3 spirits: wind, fire, and water, and each one have 3 locations that they can appear in. And it's completely random. Apart from the wind spirit, almost never appears in the spot next to the crossroads just up ahead.
It never does because of this coming up right now. We see Akinar running here, and they probably didn't want the wind spirit next to him.
Yeah. So the wind spirit can appear right there, but it almost never does.
Yeah.
So if you're really there's the wind spirit.
Yes.
So if you're really lucky, you will only get, I think the minimum is 2 spirits.
No, the minimum is 1.
The minimum is 1 spirit, right?
You're guaranteed to see 1 wind spirit.
Yeah. Because the wind spirit can either appear where it did for us today, or it can appear on the path down to the old memory chamber. If you're really lucky, you will only see it once. You can get really unlucky and see an awful lot of spirits, and that is really slow because the game forces you to look at every single one of them.
This water spirit might be here. It likes to sneak on you because it...
Yeah, this water spirit is almost impossible to hear.
Yeah, for some reason, all the spirits...
And we didn't get it, yes. That's really nice.
All spirits make sound when you're near, but...
Yeah.
And that one doesn't.
I think we might, if we're really lucky, we might only get a 1 spirit run.
This is looking like it.
We won't know if we're going to see the fire spirit until we actually get there. But we will be able to see it coming. So Exo will probably try and set up the
I was starting to worry about
a camera pan to look at the spirit quicker. Because that will work there.
I am not going to do that because I have faith that I will not encounter that spirit.
Well, if you see it coming, it would be a good idea to do it. You will see it from like two nodes away, I think.
Right, yeah.
Talk Haven. Yeah, so Haven. We don't go to Haven here.
Sorry.
If we did go to Haven, it would actually be pretty quick because you can, in fact, go straight to the final puzzle in Haven.
In the meantime,
yeah.
The reason we don't go to Haven is because the information you get from it, how to unlock the snake, is the same every time, so we don't need to go there. The medallion code from Spire is random, so we have to get it, and more than that, you cannot actually access the old memory chamber until you look at the medallion.
Yeah.
Because it does not generate a combination until you look at it. And Gelly figured that out, actually. He figured out that you have to specifically look at... Yes, we miss Haven entirely. Like, we're already in Serenia. We're not going back now.
Nope. We are here to stay. Okay, upcoming is the best cutscene in the entire game.
Oh, yep. And I'm going to go quiet here because Exodust needs to voice act for Aknar. So...
Wait. Please. Listen to me. Okay.
Doesn't look good. I admit it, but it's not what you think. I'm just taking it for a little while.
Borrowing it, so to speak. It's the plan. Sirius's plan. He's got Yeesha! Oh.
I just want to stop. He's a nutcase. He's here.
Don't let Father come here, or you'll screw up everything. Ah.
Find my journal.
Oh man, I love the screw.
Sirius doesn't even know.
That line has become a meme among the speedrunning community.
Yeah.
In the forest, near where two rivers are crossing.
I actually once edited the subtitles to change screw into screw, SCROO, but
we don't do that for official runs because it is technically a mod and we do not have a modded category yet because we haven't found a mod that actually does good things for us. We really want to create a cutscene skip mod and possibly a dream skip mod. But we haven't figured it out yet because editing the Revelation data is actually really difficult.
Well, difficult. Oh my god, I hate the snake so much. And apparently my fingers are jittery. Yes, I clicked away from the snake.
Oh, well,
I always fail on this, by the way. This is like the crux of my runs. Please tell me. Oh my god.
Okay, this normally goes faster. Exo is having a hard time with it. It is the fourth one.
Sanity check. It's left to right, right?
It is left to right.
It's the fourth line, right?
Fourth. You are on the right line. You're going in the right direction.
Oh my.
Gelly says go lower. Gelly says go lower.
Lower.
Yeah.
This is a game. This is amazing.
It never takes this long.
Nope.
I'm actually going to double check the.
Yeah, please do, because this is maddening. I mean, it's taken me 20 rubs before. You're supposed to rub 4 times and it pops up.
Yeah.
I've messed it up big time and had to rub 20 times, but this is outrageous. Wow. This only happens at marathons. Next, you're going to tell me it's the third line and not the fourth.
Oh, for Pete's sake, it's right to left.
Are you serious?
What the hell? Yeah, it's right to left.
Keep it PG-13.
That would explain it.
That does explain a lot, yes. Well,
and you're
thanks
still
for
having
that.
a hard time with it.
Yeah. I
Oh,
always
there we
do.
go! Finally! Oh my god. This is what happens during marathon events. This is absolutely what happens. It's not a marathon without someone messing up big time. That time when Exodus spent a year petting a snake. Yeah, something like that. Okay, back to the
Back to the game.
back to the game.
Yeah.
No, we're not getting world records on this key.
No way. I'm sorry. Okay, let's pray for... Oh, there we don't have a second wind spirit.
Oh, that's nice.
And we do have a fire spirit. Oh boy.
Oh, 2 spirits. That's pretty average. 2 is
it's average.
Very average. Okay, the color puzzle. Yes, the color puzzle coming up is the worst part of this run because it is so late and it is pure RNG. Basically, there are 18 colored beads spaced around a wheel, and you have to set them into 6 groups of either red, green, blue, or cyan, yellow, magenta, and the inner 6 have to be set to the same colors as on the medallion from Spire, and I really hope you remember the combination, Exo.
I do, I have a photo.
Good, good. Yeah, the top tier strats for remembering the medallion code is to take a picture of it.
I was really slow with it though.
Yeah, just because it takes 15 minutes to actually get to the place you use it. Okay, so Exodust has done the first stage of the Harvester puzzle.
Yeah.
Where you lower the water just enough to access this chamber here, to access the overflow valve. And now he's going to lower the water level even further, to access the back door to the old memory chamber.
And one silly thing to note here, I am walking to and fro the control box. That might seem silly, and in the past we surely wouldn't have thought of doing this because it's silly. But, as I've mentioned before, we are running in game time, meaning we don't have to let the timer run while we can just go somewhere else, pause the timer because we're loading, and go back instantly, and it's done.
It's not very long to wait Zaustus, but it does add up. It is faster to do what Exodus is doing because it skips the animation and pauses the timer.
Yeah, some of the animations are really long. Okay, so I am going to focus now because I am not super good at color puzzle, and it really tests you.
Do you want me to be quiet as well?
Do
you want me to be quiet as well, or should I keep talking?
Let's make it a tense experience.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet so Exodus can focus on this puzzle because it is hard.
Yes. Okay. Any that I can put in right away? No, thanks. That's very nice. Let's see. This is great already. Yeah, I'm totally... the spawn location of every single marble you see here is random. And you're either lucky or you're not. Yeah, the center 6, they need to be aligned in such a way that you can say something good about it. It's really hard to focus and talk at the same time.
Gelly's asking what the code is.
The code is, let's see, magenta, yellow, blue, yellow, red, blue, from 12 o'clock to 10 o'clock. It's always a mess figuring this out. Always.
Yeah, if you're really quick, you can get it done in about a minute. If you're really slow, it can take several times that.
Yes. You should see Gally on a good run.
Yeah.
That's scary. I mean, I've had good colors. I've had really good ones, but that's on another level.
Yeah. My former world record had a lightning fast color puzzle, and I honestly do not think it can get much faster than that. It literally took me a minute to solve it. Yeah, if you get bad RNG, then you basically just have to reset, because... Yeah.
Right, that was pretty slow.
Yay, there we go! Now we're inside the old memory chamber, and it's onto another couple of cutscenes, and then Dream.
Yes, and there is one quick thing to note before we go in there. At the end of the color puzzle, you can actually skip the animation of the door opening, But I am scared to do that, because if you mess it up, you softlock the game. You are able to softlock Myst IV Revelation. And thanks to Gelly for finding this. Gelly found bleh, wow. Gelly found both the skip and the softlock.
Yep.
I am not doing that at a marathon.
The softlock is the only glitch we know of in this game. Despite trying, we have not found a single other glitch in this game, which makes it only minimally more broken than Myst is. Because Myst is virtually glitchless, and Revelation has one glitch.
Yeah.
And they both let you skip massive amounts of the game.
Turn it and you'll set me free.
No! Stop!
There's more awesomeness coming up in the voice acting, by the way, which I want to point your attention to.
To remove all of her memory.
We're going to pay close attention to. We're going to pay close attention to Yisha when we're back here. There's some. No, not when we're back. Right now, actually.
Own memories inside her head.
What?
This is serious, I tell you.
Look, he's got the life stone. Serenia's memory chamber can't survive without the
Shut
life.
up!
Please, I'm your little sister.
Just
Softlock %, bad voice acting %. See, you guys are on our wavelength. You know how it goes.
You know the deal.
I told you already. I only said all this. Stop Zeus from hurting Father, but I
Softlock % would actually be pretty,
No, he's the one who kidnapped me, not Sarah.
no. Her right hand is not trapped because she managed to free it before Ragnar walked in.
Yeah.
Which is actually relevant for one of the bad ends, where she steals Akonar's crossbow and shoots him.
before the memory chamber gets too weak to power the trap.
I think it's the bad end where you do nothing instead of pressing the, instead of pulling either lever.
This was perfect.
If you pull the silver lever like Yisha asks you to, then it releases her and she drops the dreamstone on your head.
Don't!
And she goes blah.
It's gone wrong.
Yeah.
That's we've got a we've got a Twitch emote for that. Gelly, if you want to drop that in chat. Oh, you tried.
I think that's not possible because of FFC.
Yeah.
I can reach
We would put it in chat for you, if we could.
Well, what you could do is you could join our Discord server.
Yeah, we have it in our Discord. I will be posting a link both in the Twitch chat and in Discord at the very end of the speedrun block. So if you want to join our Discord, I mean, you can go to speedrun.com and find it through there, but hang around till the end and you can come join us. Even if you don't want to do any speedruns yourself and you just want to hang out with the rest of us, you're welcome to come in as well. Everyone is welcome, and we would love some more attention to this.
Absolutely. I think we're currently 90 members strong in our server. There's been a lot of new members recently. It's only been growing, and it can only get bigger.
Yes.
We've been talking about hosting races in our group for a long time. We should really. I'm just going to promote it again. That we're going to be doing races soon. I'm just going to put it out there. We got to make it happen.
We do have enough people to get some good races out on some of the games. Okay, so we're going to Dream now. This is the first time we go to Dream because we do not go there before because A, we don't need to, and B, that puzzle is tedious.
I love it. Joke's on you. But yeah, you're right. That puzzle. Well, we don't need it because we don't need the spirits. But yeah.
Yeah, we don't need the spirits. We have talked about a category where you don't skip any major puzzle, and that would include that puzzle, which is why we haven't run it yet. Is Dream RNG? No, there is no RNG left. The solutions here are all fixed, and I have spent a lot of time optimizing the heck out of them.
And optimized it is. Oh boy.
Yeah. the game itself does have a hint mode, where it will, if you go to hint level 3, it will tell you the solution to every single puzzle. And originally, I started off using those solutions just because I didn't understand how the puzzle worked well enough to work out any better solutions.
I will take you.
And after being told many times that no, stack puzzles are really easy. More to the right, Exo. Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
I eventually bit the bullet and just worked out some really fast solutions, and I have got it down. It saves like a minute.
Otherwise,
my optimized solutions over the original solutions.
Yeah.
Like, it is going back and comparing my oldest speedrun to Gelly's world record. It's night and day difference how fast it is. I'm actually impressed I got it this fast.
Yeah, and if you then add up the French language thing, yeah, then it's really big.
It's multiple minutes. It's multiple minutes over older speedruns.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at the evolution of this speedrun.
Yeah, it went from something like 50 minutes real time to 40 minutes real time, and with load removal, it's close to 30 minutes in game time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The stack puzzle is absolutely brutal because if you go the wrong way, you have to reset. It would take far too long to get it back into a known state where you can solve it, unless you're really good at these kinds of puzzles, which nobody is apart from one person who doesn't even run this game. So, good luck, Exo. I will be quiet for you so you can concentrate on this one.
Yeah, this one is tough. If you make a wrong move, it's game over. Honestly, I'm not sure if I've ever done this puzzle the intended way, without hints.
You should play him.
Because this puzzle is just so brutal.
Yeah. I don't think I ever solved it either, because I'm just not good at these kinds of puzzles.
I mean, to be honest, the first time I played this game, I was, I think, about 8. And, you know, being 8 years old and doing this on my own, I've played the other Myst games with my parents, with my dad, but this one I did on my own. And I was not one to try and see if there's relations between anything. It was just quick, everything has to fit, and then it's done. So yeah, this was brutal for me.
Yeah, big props to people who actually completed this game without hints. It's not easy.
In that sense, this game is really a flip side from Myst III. Myst III is all about, well, reward, I guess. I mean, it's bad to say that this game doesn't reward, but that game is really aimed at it, I should say.
Yeah, there are a number of puzzles in this game that are complete trial and error. There is actually no way to figure them out in advance.
And I'm focusing again. I do have all the solutions written out in front of me, but...
Yeah. There's enough information here that it would be very hard to... Well, I mean, I suppose you could memorize it, but it's a lot easier to just see it written down.
I had the old one memorized. The old movement, yeah.
and then I optimized it.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Should get Exo to revoice every character in this game, especially Yisha.
Especially Yisha,
I agree
oh boy.
wholeheartedly.
I mean, I think I can do that. Like, actually replace the audio in the game with my own. We should actually do that sometime.
That would be a great meme run. Ooh,
I mean,
okay.
I need to
This is
explain
the
one
last
thing.
puzzle. There are no more puzzles in this run now. It's just we wait for this cutscene to play out, the next cutscene to play out, and then we get out of the chair back in Serenia, and then that is time. Time ends when Exodust clicks to exit the chair.
Yeah. The timer will stop automatically. That's a nifty thing too.
He says, GG, you didn't screw up everything.
Thanks.
Who's doing it? Of course, I'll kill them as soon as I know how.
But yeah, we're talking about modifying the game, and in essence, it's possible to just edit the raw data of the game. You can edit the subtitles.
Getty's reminding you to turn around during the tunnel cutscene.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Sweet optimization.
Cheers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can edit the subtitles. We could edit the audio. We can edit video even. And to that end, we have our local prankster Gelly in our midst. And if you go to his YouTube, you will find a video where instead of Yisha, you will be greeted by none other than Rick Astley. And because of that, he has the Discord rule of shame. I put Rick Astley in a Myst game.
I'm pretty sure that the game crashed not long after that cutscene edit.
I don't even think it did.
It's really hard. I think it did. It's really hard to get the game to work correctly if you edit too much, especially as a video, because it's complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated.
And actually, editing the subtitles is the easiest part.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change anything.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
And there we go.
Yisha's never going to give you up. There we go.
Oh man.
And the time is still going. Why is the timer still going?
The time is still going? The timer
didn't stop.
I know what happened.
I think it said 30. I think it said 37:20.
I know what happened. Yeah, it was something like that.
Don't look so surprised.
Yeah. Problem on my end.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. This has been Myst 4. I'm Cather Dragon.
I'm
Exodust.
Exodust.
Running. And that's it for Myst 4. Well, next up is Uru with Zaustus running and me again couching. So we'll see you for that. Thanks.
Yes. Thanks everyone. Have another great Mysterium. It's been a great time. I hope you have a great time too. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I am Zaustus. I'm back. And this...
And I'm Kat.
Yes.
I'm back as well.
Yeah.
Funny that.
You've heard us both before, and now we're together again for the very first time. So, this is Uru, Myst Online, so this is the Mula client. This is the Ages Beyond Myst portion of the game. So, we're going to start by creating an explorer. I don't think it matters, male, female. What's a good name? Is Rind Miller taken?
Rind Miller?
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with Rind Miller.
We're going to go with Rind Miller for our new character.
So hopefully most of you here already know what Uru is.
Yeah. Riven shirt.
Zaustus was joking earlier that this is the first time he doesn't have to explain this game to the audience.
Yeah, this is...
Because you should already know what it is.
The Riven shirt, is mandatory for the run to be acceptable.
Yep, absolutely mandatory. If you don't use the Riven shirt, it's rejected out of hand.
Exactly.
We won't even watch it.
The run's invalid. Color is optional. You can choose any color you like. So in Uru, you have to, or in Mula at least, you have to set up your controls every time you start a new run, because you have to make a new character each time.
And much like Myst, time only starts once Zaustus starts moving, so we get as much time as we want to set up controls.
Yep, and I think we're about ready, so I'm going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright.
And we're off. So we're doing the Ages Beyond Myst content, which means getting all the journey cloths, right, and all that good stuff. And then getting to the ending back at the cleft, where Yusha says an ending has been written. That's kind of the whole goal of what we're doing here. So,
and the very first thing we're going to do is skip all the journey cloths in the cleft.
Right. So unlike Complete Chronicles, which is the offline version of the game that you could get on Steam, in Mula you actually start on Relto with your Relto book, and you have to come here to the cleft from there to unlock the other ages in the Ages Beyond Myst content. But either way, you start with the cleft, and all that journey cloth stuff is decidedly optional for the cleft. So they're kind of scattered around here, but I'm going to skip them all and try to do something called cleft skip, kind of uncreatively. Say hi to Zandy over there. So unfortunately, this is the most difficult trick in the run. I guess it's good that it's front-loaded, so you can reset quickly. But it's the hardest one to pull off. You'll see my momentum gets stopped here. Yep, that happens every time. That happens a lot in this game. So what we do is we jump up onto this rock, and we try to jump onto a little piece of geometry that kind of sticks out, a chunk of invisible wall. Oh, that was close. Might take a few tries. Hopefully I can get it. I have a backup save if things get too dicey. But you want to jump up on here. Oh, that was kind of close. This is the boring part where I spend a bunch of time jumping into a wall.
Yeah, the skip is hard to pull off, but it saves time even if you mess it up a lot, just because you have to run all over the cleft to get all 7 cloths.
Oh yeah.
And you have an awful lot of backtracking, especially with the windmill.
It takes about...
We aren't going to get to the windmill, though.
Yeah, we will have to do the windmill to complete this. But not yet. I was afraid of this.
No, we would not climb down the ladder just because we're not going that way.
Exactly, that's not the way to go, to skip it. Oh, I almost had it there.
Susan Muller has the right idea. We are, in fact, going to fall through the tree.
That's pretty much it. Yep, so... Yeah, I knew this would be the trickiest part of the run.
Yeah, everything after this is pretty straightforward.
Now, there are lots of ways that I can screw this up. Don't worry.
It's more straightforward than this.
Yeah.
Cleft skip is just difficult.
I actually got it first try recently. Yesterday, was it, I think?
Yeah, You didn't get it first try when we were practicing the other day.
Yeah, that's okay. I'd like to at least show it off.
But you got it pretty quick. Yeah.
So people can see
It'd be
kind
really
of...
good to get cleft skip. Just because it is so impressive.
There we go. Oh no! I hate when that happens.
Oh. Oh,
that's miserable. Yeah. So what happened there was I got it, but slid a little too far into the cleft, and you need to stay on the lip of the cleft, just inside the fence. That's what we're trying to do here. So I'll try it a few more times. Hopefully I can get it just to show it off, because it would be nice to be able to do.
Yeah. If Zaustus just can't get it, then we'll just skip to a save file after cleft skip.
That I already got cleft skip on. Yeah, I prepared a backup save for this eventuality.
And if we can't show off cleft skip, watch one of the speedruns to see cleft skip, because it is impressive.
Yeah, it's hard to pull off, and I knew this was a big possibility coming into this run. Sadly.
I think this is the only game where we actually regularly have backup saves for exactly this kind of eventuality, just because it can go horribly wrong this way.
Yeah. Okay, I screwed up that jump again, so I'm going to log out.
Yeah. Okay, backup save time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, really sorry, everyone. Go check out one of the completed speedruns to see cleft skip. It is worth doing.
Yeah, I wanted to show that off, but I knew it would be tough to pull off. So you get back in here, and you have to. We're gonna go to Garrison.
So after cleft skip, we pick up the page in the cave in the cleft that gets us these pillars, and then we link straight back here. So we haven't missed too much of the speed run.
Yeah. So, oh well. So now we're entering Garrison. Garrison is very cycle based. It has 3 big cycles that kind of make the bulk of the speed run happen. So this first inner part is on a 50-second cycle. So my goal is going to be to pick up the 2 journeys and my key prior to that and make it in on time. So we'll see if I can pull that off. So we jump over here, jump up here, grab the first journey, and come over here. One reason I generally like running Mula better than Complete Chronicles is because the parkour, the jumping around, is a lot easier. It's really painful to do a lot of that stuff in Complete Chronicles. The physics is quite different. So we jump over here. So now we're going to see if I made the cycle or not. And fingers crossed, right?
If he makes the cycle, then the crack in the outside wall will come up very quickly.
Yep. Hey, we made it.
Hey!
Cool.
That is really fortunate, because otherwise we'd be waiting here for 50 seconds.
For 50 seconds. This is a 50-second. The outdoor smaller fortress is on a 100-second timer. And then the great big fortress is actually on a 500-second timer to rotate 360 degrees, but that ends up being about 1 minute and 23 seconds between each big bridge. But there's one bridge that's faster than all the others because it leads right to the room we need. But we'll get to that.
Yes. We will get there later on in the speedrun.
Yeah. So now we just run through here. And we do the one puzzle that's in Garrison.
And that is activating the giant gear over there that provides power to all of Garrison.
Indeed. And it involves a counterweight system for reasons unknown. So I wait for an audio cue here of the low grumble groan. Alright.
And then it's a mad dash to activate the foot pedals.
Exactly, try to do everything in a single cycle.
And activate both foot pedals and then activate the gear. And it will be very close.
And this game has a similar sort of thing to Revelation and Exile, in that your character sort of awkwardly shuffles into position when you click objects, interactable objects. So I do try to minimize that a bit.
And you got it. Excellent.
All right.
And now turns everything else on.
Well, I just need to turn on the up elevator.
Ah, that's true, actually.
And I grab the journey, and we link on out. That was cord crab. All right, so now I've got enough time in the cycle to open these other pillars. And then...
And I believe Kadesh is next.
Kadesh, yeah, Kadesh to Lisa is where we're going to head next, and we're going to do part of it, not all of it.
Ah, Fuse Shadow just posted a link to Cleft Skip, so if you want to see Cleft Skip, click on that link and go watch it, and then come straight back here.
Yeah. Wish we could have gotten it, but
much more to do.
Didn't want to waste too much time.
Yep.
It's a bit boring watching me jump into a rock for 5 minutes.
Yep.
So, we're just moving on. So here, Kadesh involves a whole bunch of puzzles, because, you know, of course it's a vault for a paranoid dude. But we're actually going to just skip this first puzzle. We're going to pick up the journey, because we need that.
Mm-hmm. We need all 7 journey cloths in all ages except the cleft.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're not setting that scope. This first puzzle involves setting 3 scopes to the right settings. But we're just going to use a glitch to skip that. And hopefully I can get it. It gave me just a really rough time yesterday in practice, but, you know, I'm sure we'll persevere and prevail.
The way it works is instead of opening the big rotating door, we just climb up the big rotating door and fall through, fall over the top of it and land on the inside. And it's really silly, but it works and it's fast.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty neat skip to do. If I fail it, if you can get kind of stuck soft lock, then I'll just link out of here and we'll have to do it later. Because making the cycle into Riven is more important.
Yes.
Looks like I got the soft lock.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, back to garrison then.
Yeah, that's been giving me a lot of trouble recently. It used to be pretty automatic, but that's okay. So
yeah. We'll come back to Kadesh at the end of the run, actually.
Yeah, that's the last stage we end up doing. So we don't want to link to the journey in garrison here. We want to link to the front door.
Oh, Susan Muller just brought up net 6ing. Hopefully we won't get a net 6. It could happen, but hopefully it won't. That would be very unfortunate if it did.
Yeah, we'll just hope. So we come.
Fingers crossed.
We come here to the elevator, and you know this is an online game, so all sorts of crazy stuff can happen. Unforeseen events.
And net 6 is where you lose network connection and the game basically crashes. So if that happens in an official run, the run would be completely dead. For the marathon, I'm not sure how we'd recover from that.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, so I'm just gonna fingers crossed that it won't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fingers crossed.
Here we're going to jump to this stone pillar. Again, in the offline version, this pillar has a glitch that makes you fall through it, which is really not very fun. But that's not the case in Mula. So, huzzah. So we grab that journey, and then this cycle, I did a lot of routing work late last year or early this year. Gelly helped out too. To set up this particular cycle, find useful ways or productive ways to spend the time, because this cycle is crucial. You hit this long bridge, but this is the correct bridge that leads directly into the one room in the big fortress that has a journey, and so that saves a lot of time having to actually run around inside the fortress and figure out which room you're actually going to. So that's why you cut your losses in Kadesh if you get soft lock there, and just head on back to garrison, because making the cycle is paramount. right, on into the big fortress. Garrison's definitely the most convoluted age to deal with in this game.
Caleb asked if we can tell the difference between the bridges.
Visually, no, I can't tell the difference. I just know based on the timing. That's a good question. So after grabbing that journey, I just link back out. And now we're going to head to Teledon. Because, of course, you can't do the last 2 journeys in Garrison until you've been to Teledon. So hopefully, let's see, there's some cool skips in Teledon. We'll see how it goes. There's one that has also been giving me trouble, but I was able to get it a couple times this morning, so we'll see what happens. First journey is just kind of a freebie here. You just kind of grab that. And of course, I'm sure most people watching this know this game has tank controls, so you can't do the whole strafing vector movement thing that Gelly talked about back in the realMyst Masterpiece run.
Strafing in this game is super slow.
It's not strafing per se. Yeah, it's more sidestepping. I do use it sometimes, but not when running on straightaways. You're better off just running.
Yeah.
All right, click this button 3 times because it has a 3 on it. And then you can actually control your character using the tank controls during the cutscene. So if you do it right, you can actually sort of set yourself up to be in a better position for when you come back in. And it's a little hard to do, though, because you can't see very well. And I'll use that same trick elsewhere. All right, now we go to the Sun Tracker scope. And got it.
Kelly says we should probably talk to people who have played Mula for decades about glitches. The skydiving community probably knows an awful lot about various ways of getting out of bounds that might be helpful for the speedrun.
Yeah, for sure.
But we definitely have to ask them about it. So anyone in the skydiving community watching this, come on over to the Discord and tell us all the things.
So Cyan VO did a lot of the early work on this game, which is the case for pretty much every Myst game.
He didn't do Myst 4. I was the first one who ran Myst 4.
Okay, apart from Rev, he did pretty much all the other ones, I think. One of the earliest runners. So we're heading up to the processing control room up here. This is another cutscene where we just kind of sit around and wait. To hedge my bets or to not hedge my bets on this one? Let's see. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab a journey, and then we're going to go upstairs to grab another, and I'm going to try to get a skip. We'll see. I am going to hedge my bets slightly. Normally, this is just a hedge in case the skip, I can't get it to work. Drain the water. But you actually don't necessarily need to. If you get the glitch, you don't need to drain the water.
Yes, we are going to attempt to do pretty much exactly what you said, Susan Muller. We are going to climb up and fall into the water tank.
That is the goal.
Because it is faster.
Yep, if you can pull it off, it's faster. However, it's been giving me trouble recently. I think there was a physics change or update to the game back in May, and I don't know, some of the tricks have seemed more difficult since then. Maybe I just need to get good.
We get the journey up here,
yep.
And now it's time for the water skip. And hopefully Zaustus gets it.
Yeah, we'll see. Where you just kind of... the best way I've found is to just look into this corner and spam jump. But it doesn't always... Oh, there I got it. Okay. So...
Hey!
So now from here you can jump to this pedestal and then jump out of bounds like that. Oh, I'm so glad I got that. That's cool.
And we have skipped the water.
Exactly. So it didn't matter that I drained the water there. That was just a hedge in case I couldn't get it. But yeah, you just fall right through the water, and it skips a really long ladder down from that starting location in Teledon. I'm pleased as punch that I got that. I was really hoping to be able to show that one off. Makes up a little bit for not showing off Cleft Skip.
Oh, Susan says better than climbing the roof. There we go.
Alright, so we're just running up through a pipe here. Yeah, I'm sure there are people who know more about glitches and such than I do, so that's exciting. Alright, so we grab this journey. And now it's time for Kicking Rocks, the minigame.
Oh yeah, this is so much fun.
Yep.
And I say that sarcastically. I think there are 4 pressure plates that need rocks on.
That is correct, 4, and we're going to put rocks onto 3 of them.
Yeah, the last one we stand on and then run off because it is possible to get through the gate before it closes.
Just like so.
And then once it closes, the other one reopens and we don't have to do any fiddling with the controls.
Yep.
We can just go straight out the back.
A lot faster. It's such a simple strat, but I really like that one, just because it seems very elegant. So now we run down through here. Now yesterday in practice, I got a soft lock here that I had never gotten before. But I did it by jumping there, so I just ran off the end. And I didn't get soft lock, so that worked out pretty well. So we're coming around the back side of Teledon now. We've got one more journey to grab before we link out of here. And we come over this way. Grab this journey, but we're not linking out with our Relto book. We are
actually going to link to garrison.
Exactly. We're gonna grab the Borrow Stone. Precisement.
And this is actually the only way to access the part of garrison we're going to.
Exactly.
So this is the obvious time to go here in the run.
Yeah, this is easily the most convenient time to visit here. So you come down here and turn right. You go past 2 green lights, and then you take a left. You'll get to the ladder. Just basic routing stuff. Now I don't know why they put a sewer system with a ladder that you can easily get out of in a prison. But don't ask me what the maintainers were thinking. Alright, we've got one more slow ladder climb here in Garrison. And then we will have the last journey. And the ladders in this game are just the bane of my existence. They're so slow.
While we're climbing ladders, Zaustus, what is your favorite age in Uru?
My favorite age in Uru is probably Teledon. I really like Teledon. I'm a sucker for the whole kind of rusted and bronze looking machinery sort of vibe. So Riven, Teledon, Voltaic is my favorite in Myst III.
Nice.
So
I think my favorite age in Uru is KD's just because of the aesthetic.
Oh, it is beautiful. Yeah, for sure.
I love ruined places. It's just because I'm English, we have lots of ruined castles here, so I grew up visiting them. I just love them, and Kadesh has that in spades.
Yeah, Kadesh is beautiful.
Right, back to Teledon.
Yeah, we're opening up this slow door, and then we're actually going to walk directly past a journey on our left, and we're not going to touch it, because I want that to be the last journey that I activate, because the last journey you click is the one that you can link back to from Relto. And I want to be able to link back to the closest one to the door when we come back here a second time. So what we're doing right now is we're shooting a rock so that we can lower an elevator.
A ladder, even.
Or, excuse me, a ladder, yes. Old school elevator, right?
Naramare asks, anyone on Team Anane? Does anyone like Anane?
Alright, we got that.
Excellent.
Alrighty. Anane was cool. I liked it.
Susan says, I know how to get to the upper floor without shooting the rocks. Is it faster than shooting the rocks, though? That's the big question.
We might bust this run wide open with the hot new tech here.
Honestly, once the skydivers get a hold of it, it will. There's going to be some really cool skydiving involved in this run.
So
Ooh.
we're really just
Susan says yes.
we're just bringing awareness. Sweet.
Oh. Well, I said it earlier. I really want people to more people to start running these games because
Oh yeah, and this
the more people you have running a game,
oh no,
the more strategies are found.
Well, that's dreadful. We just missed that cycle.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
It really is. So we're stuck waiting for the rest of the 50 seconds. But yeah, so the way I've got this routing set up is if everything goes well, you make that cycle, but just barely. But, you know, such is a marathon.
Flapjack says, time for lovely garrison music. It is really nice music.
It is.
When am I going to run Uru? I have thought about running Uru.
Yeah, it is. I love the music and the visuals here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I might run Uru. It depends on whether I feel like it.
I hope more people do pick up Uru because there have been a couple people who were running it about 4 years ago, and then no one ran it until I picked it up sometime late last year. It might have been early this year, actually, that I started running it. And I did quite a bit of routing, but I don't know all the glitches. I'm not really much of a glitch finder. And in this run, not much of a glitch puller offer. I guess I got one.
Gilly says, I have world record in teapots.
He does. He does in Path of the Shell, which is a category that I just refuse to run because I'm not interested in standing around for a long time doing nothing.
Trizari says, teapots isn't a real category, fight me.
Yeah. It's a bit ironic I say that while I'm standing here doing nothing on this platform, but that's irrelevant.
At least 15 minutes.
Yes, not that long. So I re-grabbed this one for the same reason I talked about before of wanting the closest journey to the door. You can make this in a single jump, but it's risky and scary, and I'm too afeared. And it's not really, it's barely even faster. Like less than a second.
Yeah,
and so
the 2 jump is the marathon safe one.
Much, much safer. And might almost be faster because you can actually jump from the very highest portion of that platform.
Ooh. I'm going to copy what you just said, Susan Muller, to our Discord so that we have a nice easy record of it, because that will be interesting to look at. There we go.
I'm eager to see things later. Alright, so we have gone to the cave the first time. We have done 1 door. And now we're basically done with garrison cycles. Hallelujah. Alright, so now we're going to Teledon. We're going to link back to that journey that is now conveniently right next to the ladder. Also known as an old school elevator, as I stated before. You know, this was all built a long time ago. Alright, so we grabbed this one. I'm going to try... So I'll show one off. There's a glitch that can save time if you get it, but it's really hard. And I almost certainly will not get it. But you can actually climb up here, and then jump out through here. Oh, I missed it. And if you do it just right, you can actually land in that hallway back there. But I get it maybe 1 out of every 10 attempts. So, but since this is a marathon, I thought I'd do it just for fun. Oh, that's the wrong book. There we go. So I found that while it does save about 8 seconds if you nail it, the roughly 90% chance of failure isn't worth it. And it is actually, I've timed it, it's faster to climb back down the ladder rather than to go down the tunnel and open the door at the other end, because that door you just have to stand there waiting forever.
I didn't realize that. I thought it would have been faster to take the door.
Yeah, no, the door is just really slow to open. Alright, so now we're going to grab this last journey. and make our way to the Teledon door. Head on in. This is an odd game. But I do like it quite a bit. Yeah, it's definitely strange, but it's cool, and I dig it.
Shora, peace to you.
All right, and we just yeet ourselves into a starry expanse.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is the Edders.
We ignore Yisha because we're very rude and we don't listen to her exposition. Yes, next up is Eder Gira. And shortly thereafter, Eder Kamo.
And Eder Gira's gimmick is the steam vents. And we're going to ignore them all.
Exactly, yeah. You don't have to actually do the steam vents at all. If you line yourself up right, you can actually do that. Just jump and get that first journey in midair, and it'll teleport you back up once you get it. We got nighttime at Ergira, by the way. Now, I like to back off this cliff just so I don't fall into the lava, because it's real easy to overshoot otherwise.
Yes, backing up is much slower than going forward, so it's much better for precision.
And then...
who discovered the steam skip, by the way? Was it Gelly?
Gelly did, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you come up, I think it's right about here.
Yeah, I think that's the right place.
Yeah, I didn't make the jump properly. You can actually jump over that wall. If you fail it, you can just climb up this section right here.
Poor Yisha, she works hard preparing that speech.
Right, and we just...
Yisha's a pretentious little brat.
We just ignored it.
Oh, close again.
Yeah. This sometimes takes a few attempts. Oh, that was close. And all of these are like small tricks that are really easy to fail on, and any one can be the difference between... Oh, I just lagged off the cliff there. That was lag. Any one can mean the difference between, you know, a PB and not a PB. So as you can see, this run needs a lot more optimization.
Yeah. More consistent setups would also help for a lot of these tricks.
Yeah, exactly. So apologies for being slow on this. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm just not making the jump. I kind of want this piece right here is what I've found to be the best. There we did.
Hey!
We made it. Alright. As long as we get to show them off, that's all I really wanted.
Yeah, this is more of a showcase than trying to get world record or anything.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Still faster than closing the vents, probably. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. And this is the only fish trap we're going to use.
Exactly.
And you'll see why when we come back to Edagira. Because next up is we're going to go to Edakimo and get the fireflies.
So that's not quite in the right spot, unfortunately. It's a lot easier to push it precisely if you walk rather than run.
Yes. You have a lot less momentum while walking.
Exactly. So trying to corral that thing and wrangle it into place is always fun and interesting. Alright, so compared to everything else, Eder Kamo is literally a walk in the park. It's just an Easter egg.
It's pretty simple. Just grab the journey cloths here and get the fireflies and link back.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. This is the easiest age in the game by far. So again, there's a journey just to our left that I'm intentionally skipping for the same reason as I did that in Teledon. That's the closest one to the door. So I want to pick it up last on our return trip here. Alright, so we're going to come over and grab the next journey, and then it's time for fireflies. Got it. Alright, So this is a crowd that probably knows the rules of the Fireflies, unlike most, but basically you have to walk. If you start running, they start depleting at a rate of something like 1 per second. But importantly, they don't immediately go away if you run. And you have one free jump. You can jump once with the Fireflies and they won't go away. But if you jump a second time, they go away. And then if you walk into water or walk across an active steam vent, they leave you. So, this is the walking simulator portion of the run. But, of course, as I'm sure everyone watching this knows, the Fireflies are important because they give you a light aura that lets you go through the dark caves back in Aether Gira. Unfortunately, even though you can navigate the dark caves in the dark without any light, the game will not allow you to click the journey that's in one of the dark caves unless you have a light source active. So the Fireflies, as far as we are aware, are mandatory. So we are bringing them in here. And then you have to be careful because the mean developers put a steam vent right in front of you when you link in.
Yeah, you have to go off to the side, otherwise you lose all your Fireflies.
I know, that happened to me in my casual play. It was very rude.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go across the first fish trap we placed.
Yep.
And then run along the wall where you would normally place the second batch of fish traps.
Exactly. Hopefully I can get this. Got it. So by sprinting into the wall there, you actually can avoid getting into the water, and therefore you keep your Fireflies. You have to run a little bit, so you probably lose, I don't know, 1 or 2. But crucially, you don't lose all of them.
And more importantly, you still have your one jump.
Exactly.
The little waterfall up at the top.
Exactly. So we're going to use that coming up here momentarily. There we go. And we head on in.
Yeah, that's the last journey cloth.
The last journey in the second dark cave. And now we can go back to sprinting, and after all the walking, sprinting feels really fast. Get the Dino Bone jump. Alright.
And now it's back to chemo to get the door and the last journey.
Yeah, the true last journey. Yeah, we got the last journey in Gira, and now we're heading to Camo to get that journey that we skipped previously. And then it's just out the door and on to Kadish Talisa. As the thunder rumbles.
Oh yeah, it's about to rain in Chemo, I think.
Yeah, and so it's never an issue, but you can't get the Fireflies while it's raining. So
the Fireflies actually go off and hide.
Yeah. So that would be lame if it started raining while you needed Fireflies.
Yeah, if it started raining, you'd have to wait for it to stop and then find the Fireflies again.
But it always starts dry, as far as I've ever seen. So I don't think that that's ever been an issue.
You return again. Return to hear
Alrighty.
Return for a third pillar.
Right, and now we go back to Kadish. And are we going to try the scope skip again?
Oh, absolutely we are. It's not that far of a run from the journey link to the tree.
That's true.
But hopefully I can get it faster than I got it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Gelly says that as far as we know, the rain cycle is based on when we first enter Edikimo. So, going fast, we should never actually get rain.
That makes sense, because the garrison cycle is set when you enter garrison.
Yeah.
And then it proceeds regardless of load times or anything like that. It's just real time at that point. Dang it. Yeah. I've been having trouble with that recently.
We'll give it another go.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty much committed to trying this one until I get it. But yeah, these are all things that if you were trying for a PB run, you pretty much have to get first try on all of them. And then there's the random load times, especially into the Barrow Cave. I've had good runs just get wrecked by long load times. There we go.
Kate Bear posted a link to the speedrunning Discord, so there is one there now. There will be another link at the end of the speedrunning block.
And I got the skip. Hooray! I think I needed to turn farther to the left as I did that time to avoid the soft lock. It's all a little squirrely. All right.
Okay, so the light puzzle's up next.
Yeah, on to the second puzzle in Kadish. Turns out the lights are purely optional. You don't need them at all. So what we...
If you know the path to walk,
exactly.
then you can just
You can go to
walk
here, and then you can go to here, and then if you just go like that... Oop. Didn't go. Hold on one second. Okay. From here... I'm sorry, not from here. From here, you go to here, you go to here, and then you go to here. Boy, I'm not having much luck today.
It's like Exodust and the snake all over again.
I know. The jitters come out, and there we go.
Hey!
So if you do that right, it goes really fast.
And we're going to do a similar thing on the next light puzzle as well.
We are.
Just go straight to walking the path and ignore the lights completely.
But we'll show off the beautiful visuals here.
Oh yeah, this is why I love KD. It's just so beautiful to look at.
It is a very striking
with all the
design.
ruined architecture in the foreground as well.
Now, some of the puzzles, on the other hand, this next one in particular, even knowing the solution, I have a hard time understanding how the clue tells you what to do.
Yeah.
I found these puzzles very difficult. Oop. Awkwardly shuffle into place.
I recall the first time I was playing a route, I did actually manage to solve Kadish completely by myself.
I did it blind. My wife helped out with some of the puzzles, but she didn't know either. We were still puzzling them, you know? So yeah, this one again, you do the same thing. You just kind of run the path. So,
and there we go.
So you can skip the first, the second, third, and fifth puzzles are all really fast to input, but the fourth puzzle takes a long time. Okay.
Indeed. And it's because we have to do the hello?
What?
Try jumping. Oh, it went back. That's stupid.
It does that. It'll go back down. Yeah. I just don't understand why it wouldn't let me out of the door. That's literally never happened to me before.
That's so weird. So anyway, as I was saying, we have to set the columns twice. Once to get the journey cloth and once to exit the run.
Exactly.
And that all just takes a little bit of time.
Yep. Just waiting for the mechanisms to work. Okay, will you let me out now? I'll wait till it stops. Okay, it let me out. That was... I have no explanation for that one. Alright.
Denied by the gods of plasma. You are absolutely right, Flapjack.
Pretty much.
Bad subpixel alignment. Something like that.
Something like that. You just have to wait because it won't let you pull it again right away. Yeah, this puzzle is a pain, and then it also has huge ladders. I think the biggest ladder in the game.
Yeah, those are really long ladders.
Alright. So now we have Ladder Simulator 2004. As we climb up to the next journey. I'd love for there to be skips to get past that door so that you could just run up the, the back hallway to get to the journey up there, but I don't know of any. So another thing, if someone else knows, that would be lovely. Because then I think you could just jump down. This door often is a sticking point. Alright. And you can just jump right off of there. Hit the reset button. And now go hit this one. Because we have to wait for the puzzle to reset anyway. And I've learned from experience that you have to wait for the puzzle to fully reset until you start clicking levers. Or else it doesn't go well. Alright, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, and we'll have to hit 3 one more time. Waiting, waiting. Alright, and now we can actually use tank controls to guide ourselves to the ladder as the cutscene starts. Exactly, and once you're on the ladder, you can just hold forward and climb while the cutscene plays. So that at least saves some time.
It doesn't cut out the really long ladder, though.
No, unfortunately. The super long ladder is the top one. And of course, it's not cutting anything out. It's just, you know, making good use of the time that you're already spending.
Yeah, a lot of this game is just good time management, isn't it?
It is, it really is, and cycle management with garrison. And if you hit it right, you get those cycles right on. You see big time savings relative to missing it. So we'll climb this ladder for the next half hour or so, and then we'll move on to the 5th. But we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah, there's very little left of the run.
Yeah, so we have to go input the solution to puzzle 5, grab the last journey in the Vault of Kadish, and then we're out of Kadish.
Grab the last pillar.
And then it's just redoing all of the ages to open up the fissure to get back to the cleft.
Well, it's not redoing the ages. We have to go back through all
Just
4 journey doors.
Right, go through the doors. Correct.
Which is also why we make sure the last plus we touch is the one closest to the door, because we have to go back to all of them.
Exactly. So here it's just 1, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6. That one's nice and easy. It even numbers the first one for you. Say hi to Kadish.
Yeah.
There's Kadish. Hi, Kadish.
Hi, Kadish.
He's got his pretty sweet Ugg boots and his, you know, Savidro style red robe. So, you know, he's looking pretty fly for a dead guy. Alright, and then we can come up to here and make some terrifying leaps. And run down this supporting column or whatever it is to get to the door. And that will be our 4th trip to the Barrow Cave.
And that's the 4th pillar.
Indeed.
So now,
The bones of
as we said earlier, we return to all 4 journey doors to put the pillars back, open up the fissure so we can return to the cleft.
Exactly. Okay, so I actually do these in a specific order that helps out with getting the symbols that you need. So I do garrison first, and I want to go to the journey cloth because I was careful to grab the one on the rock pillar. It's suboptimal if you fail to do that. So jump down here, and jump down here. Alright, we made it.
Yeah, if you don't grab the cloth on the pillar, then you have to start from the original linking point, and then you have to deal with the cycles again, and
Exactly,
it's just not convenient.
It's a real pain. So that one journey is the only one in the run that we click twice for that very reason. All right, and our first symbol is Magnemite. Looks like the Pokemon. I just made up my own names.
I think that one's meant to be the Weeping Eye symbol that the Barrow have.
I'm sure it's something like that. I just made up my own mnemonic names. Next I go to Ader Kamo. Alright. And here we will just take a right turn and head out the door. This one's real easy. By far the simplest age in the run. Nothing much to talk about. And we'll see what our next symbol is. You can put the symbols in any rotational order. Okay.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
We got Snake. But the relative order is important. And knowing what the starting symbols are is helpful, so you can try to pick a rotation that minimizes how many times you have to click at the end. You know, with all the other stuff, it's kind of minor, but it's there. It's a time save. Let's grab the Teledon Journey Cloth. So neither of those symbols is a starting symbol on the imager. Let's see, take a left. But, so yeah, you can rotate your symbols to align one of them with a starting one. Almost always. Actually, I think always, because you get 4 and there are 7 symbols.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got Target. Target is the starting both top and right symbol.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Huh. I've never actually paid attention to that part.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to want Target on the top at the end. And now we go to Kadish, because then it's only one click on the right one.
And you could see as Zaustus ran back into the hut, the fissure is becoming more defined.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Oop. Terrifying leaps. I like to give myself just a moment of pause to line those up. I'm too afeared to go at full speed. Alright, and Comb is the last one we get.
That's a cone?
Sure. Why not?
I always thought of it as a loaf of bread.
Okay. It's all up to interpretation, of course.
Yeah. They're all just abstract symbols at the end of the day.
Indeed. Whatever mnemonic works for you.
And here we go.
And we jump into a starry crack in the ground, which of course leads us to New Mexico, as everyone knows. I mean, that's just science. That's how science works. Basic Astronomy 101. Now you know. Alright. So we're going to head over here. I do like to try one time to see if I can cleft skip my way over to skip the ladder, because it doesn't really lose hardly any time to attempt. And if you get it, then you can skip climbing the ladder. So we're back to this. The run ends as it began. But I missed it. That's okay.
Trying and failing to get cleft skip.
Precisely. It's that, Ouroboros snake eating its tail. The cycle begins anew.
Indeed.
All right, we try to get bridge skip here. All right, good job.
And if you walk on the ropes, then the bridge doesn't break.
Exactly. And then I'll try to get reverse bridge skip, which is a Moolah only trick. Got it. Beautiful. You can just jump through that wall there. And we're doing this because we do actually need to turn the power on to power the imager, to input the code, to end the game.
Indeed. So, Zaustus pulled the lever locking the windmill in place, and now he's going to turn the windmill on.
Exactly. Alright, climb slowly back down in. Alright, jump onto that again. Cleft skip, or not cleft skip. Bridge skip, right. Okay, so I want this to be comb, and I want this to be target, and I want this to be dragon, or snake, or whatever. Oh, I went past it. I want this to be Magnemite. Alright, that should do it.
Awesome.
And
that's time.
That is time. That's it.
You've done all that's been asked.
So, just overestimate, but, you know, 6 seconds. What's 6 seconds between friends? That could obviously go significantly faster.
If you get cleft skip.
Exactly. If you get cleft skip first try or quickly, my best time is 46 minutes and change. But hey, it worked out. We got it. So I've been Zaustus, and thank you very much, Kat, for providing commentary. This is a lot of time to fill to talk by myself. So I appreciate you coming along, and
no problem.
Thanks to the whole Cyan speedrunning community, and hope y'all have a good time. I think Myst V is up
it's Myst
next.
V next with Gelly and Gelly.
Gelly and Gelly too.
Enjoy that. It's really broken. If you thought the earlier 3D games were broken, wait until Myst V.
Indeed.
It's great.
All right, well, thanks, and take care.
Hello, I'm back to play some Myst V. I have 4 minutes to explain this, so I'm going to try a little bit ahead of time. This is any percent no cutscene skips. Or, sorry, any percent no cutscenes. We do cutscene skips because, as you're well aware, the Escher and Yisha cutscenes drag on a little bit too much. So we actually have a mod that skips them. This turns this from a 12-minute category to a 3-minute category for reference. So let's get this going. I have some safety saves in case I mess any of this up. Time starts when I hit this OK button, which, oh geez. This game likes to take away all of your control, so I'm going to try to see if I can get this to work. Okay, so time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so first you can do right click and then left click to move as fast as possible in the classic point and click mode. We're going to do point and click for most things because for pure movement's sake, point and click is faster, much like in realMyst Masterpiece Edition. Once again, the interaction between doing free roam and doing point and click can be used and abused here. In particular, there's an elevator up here where you can actually do the C jumping technique where you can switch to classic and you can go onto the elevator even if the elevator isn't there. So for example, if I just go here, I switch to classic, then to free roam, then to classic, I pop down here, and then I switch to free roam in such a way where I can get onto this elevator before the elevator leaves without me. 3, 4, 5. I'm then going to pop off the edge through the Great Shaft in order to get to Durabo. Please land correctly. Awesome. So now we're going to Durabo. Now you might be wondering, you spent a minute going to Durabo. What's the rest of the time going to be, considering you can't go to the other slates from these bridges, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. As you can see here, if I walk into this particular corner, you can just pop through and then you can see jump onto every island. So the game is less about maneuvering your way to each slate with glitches or elevators or what have you, and more going to each slate and praying that your drawings are good enough for the Borrow gods. And so now we're going to play Pictionary. Let's see if our Borrow can guess what this is. Since all of the symbols are known ahead of time, oh, the Borrow's not going to get this, but I'm going to try my darned hardest. Now it's just... Oh, gosh. So you can tell from the animations whether or not a Borrow does or does not detect certain symbols. So I'm currently 0 for 1. Ain't that awesome. Let's see if Locky On goes a little bit better. I always usually call this an elephant. I think it's actually supposed to be like a whale or something. Please, give me like 1 for 2. Please? Alright, cool. 1 for 2. Next we go to this one, which is Nolo Ben. I know all the names of the ages. I've played this game, even though knowing the names is not relevant for this category. Alright, let's see. Oh, come on! It's just circles! How hard can circles be? I'm sorry, this game is a little bit frustrating when it comes to getting the drawings to get a hit. Oh, I don't want to leave. I just want to get to the last one. The glitch to get to the slates is way easier than actually drawing these all out. You may notice that my mouse cursor flits in certain directions. For those of you who play Uru, you know this fix is the mouse glitch. Unfortunately, the patch that works for Uru does not work for Myst V, and so you just have to sort of tough it and hope that you don't get your cursor jumping during a relevant part of the drawing. Please work. Please work. Yo! Alright, cool. That's always the hardest one, is Tagira. Tagira, by far, is the worst one because there's a lot of pieces that you have to put there. There are ways to optimize the drawings in order to go faster, and actually, if you look at my speedruns, I do tend to cut out certain sections for some of them. Oh gosh, I'm gonna go overestimate, y'all. I had a 4-minute estimate I promised you guys, and you know, the borrower is saying no. It is what it is. Please work. Come on. It's circles. It's circles. How hard can it be to recognize circles? All right, thank you. All right. So now that we've got all the drawings recognized, we're gonna go to, if I can finagle my way over here, we're gonna go to the keep. I know the terminology for this game. We're gonna hit all 4 tablets. It turns out you can hit some of them from the side, so you can save a bit of time by not having to go all the way around. And time ends when the borrow covers my face. So we're gonna do the good ending because actually the good ending is the fastest ending. It takes more effort to be evil or whatever. I'm gonna try to mess up this cutscene here. Oh, I think I might have got it. Okay, and time. Let's see, did the cutscene mess up? Yes! This is the second time I've ever gotten this glitch.
Set free.
If you go through this tunnel backwards while the borrow captures you, you're actually at a distance. We'll watch this for a little bit because I think this is really funny. When we go to
is lifted from my weary heart.
The place with the spike in it, the Halo world or whatever.
Praise the Maker.
It'll put us back in the correct position. But let's watch the behind
task.
the scenes. We'll say for this.
You have done well.
In case nobody else has seen this
And
before. I've
many
actually never
will
recorded this for
rejoice.
anything, so this is the first time I think anyone else is seeing this, unless this was known.
You have chosen the least as greatest. You have freed us all. Yourself of pride, me of the burden, and the good borrow of their enslavement.
This is why we do cutscene skips, by the way. So
You are worthy of the new Denis.
because there we go. All right. There we go. So it takes us back to the right place, and we get to see old Ryan DeMiller. Unfortunately,
Oh,
there's no
my
way I
father.
can close the game.
My desert
Wait, where is it? Oh, there it is. I have to go into Task Manager to close it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I tried to do best, and I did rely a lot on realMyst Masterpiece Edition commentary that I did earlier, but hopefully a lot of the things made sense in there. Thanks for having me. Myst V is always a treat to run, even if I went like 30 seconds over. But yeah, that's it from me. Feel free to transition over to, I think Blue Dude is doing Obduction next. Hopefully, I'm correct on that one. So yeah, feel free to cut me while I talk about the Riven water and sort of the inconsistencies that come from the fact that heating.
Okay, so yeah, this is Obduction, and let's just get right into it. As we load into the game, I'm going to attempt a glitch right off the bat. That's kind of tricky, so let's see if I get it.
And they shouldn't be forgotten. Right. That's where all of our new stories begin.
Oh. And I got it. So, what I just did right there was enter the cutscene trigger, and right now, after I switch to point and click mode, you can hear me tapping. I triggered the cutscene. I went back one node further than what I'm supposed to be, so I'm going to spawn in Hoonrath out of bounds. So that will allow me to get to the generator immediately. And it's very important that we get to the generator without redirecting the flow of the water.
It saved us, and...
But anyway, I'm Weirdo X2. This is Obduction, any percent, new patch. Any percent requires either the good or bad ending, it doesn't matter. And we have a lot of downtime that I could explain the difference between new and old patch. And this is the bitrate killer. So immediately after the loading screen, I'm going to hold up right, then down right to get out of bounds, and like that. And we are now in the Underdome. And it's just a matter of walking over to the generator. So you can see all the things from down below as we are in the Underdome. So right here, as I go over to the generator to get back in bounds, I have to be pretty careful because I could soft lock right here. So I'm going to play a bit safe and move a bit further up, and hopefully the game will autosave. I saw this symbol, so we should be good. Oh, and you can make the names really, really long in this game. So, yeah, there. You have to be careful, though. I had an issue a couple days ago where I made it too long, and when I tried reloading or deleting, it just broke. But right now, it's very important that we reload the game to get back in bounds, because I want to switch back to point-and-click mode. And the reason why that will set our node position somewhere above us. And if I don't reload, then I'll end up back in the beginning of the starting area of Hoonrath. So let's hope I don't soft lock. And we are back in bounds. So enjoy the wires. Basically, the soft lock, I would have spawned right there. And technically I could still play the game, but I cannot progress further. So now I'm going to start the generator, and before we do that, I'm going to look through the garage. Spoiler if you haven't beaten it, but this license plate right here, which is North Carolina, taking a picture just in case I forget. That license plate as of version 1.7 will always be the correct answer for the elevator. So, new patch actually gets rid of all the RNG in this run. So right now it's pretty standard, we just have to turn on the generator. And in old patch, there's actually a glitch right here where we could get the knob stuck on the start position to run away earlier. Unfortunately, in new patch, we can't do that. And now we just swing through Farley's house. So this is the perfect time to talk about the difference between old patch and new patch. One of the key differences is that in old patch, you actually move 10 times faster than what you're supposed to be moving. There was an exploit where you stack up a bunch of movement speed, you could sprint across the map. And yeah, that has unfortunately been patched, so we're just going to do diagonal walking. And yeah, this is the fastest form of movement in this version of the game, as we hit a couple lag spikes. Another major difference is that in new patch, we only have to blow up the bleeder. So in old patch, we actually have to water the trees and then charge the bleeder, blow it up, all that. But in this version of the game, if you blow up just the bleeder without watering any of the trees, you don't soft lock. Now, in old patch, for whatever reason, you soft lock. So, come on now. Oh, am I going to have to... Oh, there. I got it. So you could hit the red laser through the hole in the wall right there. And this is why it's very important that we do not redirect the flow of water, because we go up here and we're not supposed to be here when the red laser is destroyed, which allows us to go to the bleeder immediately and just set that ready, or set that up to blow up. Now, you might be saying, okay, so you do less work in this patch, so that means this is the faster patch, even though there's the 10 times movement speed in old patch. Well, that's actually not the case. Old patch is actually the fastest if we time off in-game time. And that is because the final major difference between old patch and new patch is that in old patch, walls and floors are literally a suggestion. Also, this is kind of like the backup strat, except I messed it up. I have to be careful to not soft lock. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Walls and floors are suggestions, so we just go out of bounds everywhere and take the most direct path to do everything, which means that if we talk about in-game time, old patch is the fastest. Now, if you want to get into running this game with glitches, I recommend doing new patch, as it is the easier run. And yeah, so now we just have to get to the elevator, and we just cut through the graveyard. And to get to the elevator, we need to go on this bridge, and the way we do it is stand on this ledge, and we wrong warp or node warp, whatever you want to call it. And that has been in there since the very beginning. I found it, and it has yet to be patched, but a lot of other wrong warps are still, or have been patched, and the code is north. And as you can see, the ending is played normally. If this was old patch, this wouldn't even start.
All right, everyone. Greetings to the final installment of the block. I am one of the backers of Firmament, so I, alongside a few others in the Guild of Speedrunners, have access to the proof of concept, and we've poked our noses in it, much like every other Cyan game that we get our hands on. So,
because why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here's our friend, the Adjunct. Very cute. Cute it is.
And that's the whole gimmick of this game.
Yep, and this run. So.
Yep.
Let's get
everything revolves around the Adjunct.
You probably recognize our voices from earlier, but I'm Zaustus, and Kat is here with us
Hello,
as well.
Kat again.
That is right. Here we go. Time starts when on fade out after pointing the Adjunct in the right direction. All right, here we go.
Gotta roll that die.
Yeah.
Is it a D12? I think it's a D12.
Dodecahedron, something like that.
It's a truncated cube, I think, or a truncated octahedron, one of the two.
The fact that you know that off the top of your head.
I'm a mathematician. It's
okay. Then I guess you're knowing your geometry if you're a mathematician.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's no excuse for that.
All right.
I'm just.
So we run out of here and we run for the door.
And
game audio is still pretty loud.
Most of the tech in this game is getting the Adjunct into our hand as quickly as possible, because it makes it easy to put it in things.
So the demo is pretty short, but it does show off how to use the Adjunct.
It does. So, because we're lonesome people, all alone, we want to keep the Adjunct with us as closely as possible at all times. We don't let the Adjunct fly away, because we're kind of clingy like that, so... Oh. We also don't want to bonk it, like I'm demonstrating there.
The Adjunct actually has... It's part of the world, then it will fly out of your hand, and you have to grab it.
Yeah, they're frozen.
A Twitch problem?
Oh no. It's working on my end, so...
Yeah. I show no dropped frames. No, I show 100 dropped frames, but not a lot. Working on it? Okay. I will reset. I can't pause the game, so I will reset.
Restream is frozen. That's unfortunate.
Unfortunately, we haven't had too many technical difficulties here.
Yeah. Anytime you do a
restream,
it's kind of tough. So.
Yeah, things can always go haywire. Okay.
Give it a shot.
Like the stream looks good now.
All right, here we go again. Take two.
Deja vu.
Yeah, here we go. You get to see all the beginning again. In case you just can't get enough of the proof of concept, here's the beginning again. I apologize for the loud escape sequence. I promise the rest of the game was quieter.
So, Flapjack, you have a VR setup, and we were actually able to poke around using the VR controls.
We were. So we have actually had a look at this game on a Valve Index, and I can report that it is just as gorgeous in VR as it is on desktop. It definitely shows the maturity of Cyan using the Unreal Engine, because this game looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I was able to work my way out of bounds a few times, but only to soft blocks.
Well, there isn't much. There aren't many places to go out of bounds. Oh, bonk!
There's basically no.
Bonk,
okay.
Bonk.
There we go.
I think it's stuck. Oh, there we go.
All right. So the main difficulty is that the Adjunct has permanent collision, or close enough to permanent collision, from what we can tell. So you actually have to be careful where you stick your hand with it, because if you bonk it into a surface, it will fly out of your hand, and that's slow. So we try not to do that.
But
Like
it does
that.
keep it from clipping through walls and stuff and looking
Oh my
weird.
goodness, I'm falling apart. There we go.
But I imagine this has... I'm sure not everyone has seen this, so it's
Yeah.
neat to get the chance.
People are saying on Discord that they haven't seen this before at all.
Awesome.
I don't know why it came to me. It was still highlighted.
Neat to show it off.
Well, not everyone got to back the game on Kickstarter.
Yeah, or back at the level that was required to get
the proof
demo.
of concept. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Did you use Zaustus?
I backed it, but not at the high enough level.
I backed it to get the proof of concept. So I could run this if I wanted to.
I have to hang my head and shake now.
I'm afraid to go too far now that I'm having bonked it like 20 times. We're still not going over 5 minutes, but it's not going to be 4:07 or anything like that. So, all right. So we have a long elevator ride. We actually are stuck to the spot, which I assume to be VR optimizations. This is the spot where we found some out of bounds. Because of the way that VR movement works, it's very similar to Obduction, where you jump from place to place to place, and you can jump up to the top of the elevator, and then out of bounds into basically nowhere.
Yeah. I think there was another one right by the beginning where I got up into just the skybox and that first door that you exit to go outside, and nothing, everything else unloaded.
All right. So coming up on the next area, a little bit time sensitive. If I get this wrong, it might be over 5 minutes. So let's see if I can keep it together.
One interesting thing to mention is that when Flapjack picks up the adjunct, he always summons it to him and then walks forward to grab it, which is slightly faster than letting it present its handle to you once it reaches you.
Yeah.
Like, marginally faster. There we go.
Nicely done.
Now we're inside the pod,
Yep.
and that's basically the end.
Yep, we have a short teleportation ride out of here. And then we will be at the end of the demo.
So there is going to be a Zoom call after this, where you can, where we'll be doing Q&A with all the runners. Can we also get a repost of the speedrunning Discord link in Twitch chat? I'm going to put it in Discord.
A little Easter egg for those of you who know Cyan a little too well.
You are a thread of hope for opening the gate.
The Myst Library ceiling. So yeah, please come join the Discord. We'd love to have you. And if you know how to break some of the games, please tell us.
Yeah, we love
love
going
to know
fast. Anything that you have found to go fast is stuff we want to know.
Because we love these games so much that we want to break them.
Anything you haven't seen happen, please let us know. If we haven't found it before, props to you.
But that is the Firmament proof of concept and the end of the speedrunning block for Mysterium. I think there's going to be hopefully a little bit of time to do a little bit of question and answer if people are interested in doing that. So I think that will be done on Zoom. So thank you all very much for tuning in, and we hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yep.